until after the meeting.
My background is blurred, so you can see what it does.
President Carpenter,
So
we
we'll
are
cut it down.
on air.
Okay.
Thank you. It is 9:30. The regular open meeting of the Board of Directors of the Golden Rain Foundation of Laguna Woods of California Nonprofit Mutual Benefit Corporation. This Tuesday, September 7th, 2021, 9:30, virtual meeting will come to order. So, John, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I will.
Thank you.
I don't see a flag, but I'll look for one. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item is business. Okay, let's acknowledge the media. Thank you. And the next item of business is the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? So I can see one, and that is the approval of resolution to update the committees. Basically should be added to the consent calendar 10B. Do you see that, Joan? I don't hear you. Joan?
Where's the first one? Where is the, what are you talking about?
It was not included in our package.
So it should be an approval of committees?
Yeah, the approval resolution to update the committee. It was not in our package, so we need to add it.
Oh boy, we haven't even looked at it. Okay.
Well, it's not going to change, so
yes, it is.
I guess if it's not going to change,
there is a correction. There is a correction from the last time, so it will change.
Okay.
And okay. I'll wait until you do the minutes, and or do you want me to correct it now because it's simple?
Sure.
Okay, correction on 5B is page 11 of 18 of those minutes. The information under information tech, cross out Debbie Dawson's name for third.
Okay.
Do you find it, Cheryl?
Yes, I'll make that change. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That was all.
Okay.
So if it doesn't change, it should be the same.
Okay. Then what I'm hearing you say is we don't need to add it to the agenda, so the agenda will stay the same. And
yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if there are no objections, then the agenda is approved by unanimous consent. So the next item of business is the approval of the minutes for July 22nd, 2021, agenda prep open meeting. Are there any corrections or deletions? So if there are no corrections or deletions, and we have no objections, the minutes of July 22nd, 2021, agenda prep open meeting is approved by unanimous consent.
Okay.
Next item would be the approval of the minutes for August 3rd, 2021, regular open meeting. John?
The only correction was the one I just made.
Yes, thank you.
So we just make sure it's in there so there are no other corrections that I have.
Right. Are there any other corrections? So if there's no objections, the corrected minutes of August 3rd, 2021, regular open meeting is approved by unanimous consent. Thank you. The report of the chair. I hope everyone has had a good holiday, and we have a lot to cover today. And so I'm turning it over to Jeff. And we are going to meet the managers today.
We are. Thank you.
Jeff, will you proceed?
Thank you, President Carpenter, and to the board. Good morning. I just had a quick update on COVID numbers I wanted to provide the board. Just real briefly, there were reported yesterday 414 positive cases. Laguna Woods, which is the whole community of Laguna Woods, which we're a part of, is now up to 488 cases. That's an increase of 40 cases in the last month. So I wanted people to be aware that that Delta variant is out there and is impacting hospitalizations, which is one of the biggest impacts that we see in Orange County that has an impact on our residents, is at 500 cases of hospitalizations in Orange County with 138 in ICU. So that is up, as I indicated before. So these are the highest numbers we've seen since February of earlier in the year. And also, unfortunately, 14 people passed away in Orange County this over the last day, reporting day. And that included 12 people who live in normal housing, and 1 in skilled nursing and 1 in an assisted living facility. Our actually interesting thing is they do go and make adjustments, and they reported last week we had 53 fatalities in Laguna Woods. It got reverted down to 51 fatalities. So again, they go back and they do correct these things. So that's actually good that our numbers staying low with regards to fatalities. But the issuance of COVID numbers and the amount of hospitalizations, I just want people to be aware of that. As everybody knows, with regards to our employees here, we are all masked up and will continue to be masked up until we see a change in the number of cases that are occurring in Orange County and the surrounding areas, and or getting new direction from Orange County or the state of California, which have not issued any new directives or indications in the last several months, since July 15 when they reopened. And with regards to that, I just wanted to mention, obviously, today is the day in which the board is reviewing the final, taking final action with your agenda item with regards to approval of the budget. I just want to thank the board for the very, very lengthy process in which you participated a great deal and gave us a great amount of input. Back to the VMS staff, I want to take time to thank Steve and Jose in particular and his staff for putting together the budget this year and what that meant to us. We obviously did several additional meetings this year, which I think were very productive for GRF to see all of our departments and the department reviews in particular. So we'll continue, obviously, to do that next year in the budgetary process. And so I appreciate, again, the board's action on that. And I'm going to turn over to Siobhan, and she'll introduce the video as well as some other things she has.
Thank you, Jeff. Honorable President, members of the board, it is our privilege this morning to introduce the board and our residents to our new Director of Maintenance and Construction, as well as other key managers in the Maintenance and Construction Department. Without further ado, I'm going to ask Grant to start the video to introduce you to these key members of our team.
Mejia, Village Management Services Facility Manager, has more than 30 years of civil engineering experience that includes such municipal engineering fields as water distribution, storm drains, environmental compliance, subdivision, buildings, and more. Bart comes to VMS from the city of Costa Mesa, where he managed the capital improvement program as city engineer. Prior to that, he managed the Water Services Capital Improvement Program for the city of Garden Grove. His skill set includes short and long-range planning, capital improvement programming, project development to delivery, project and personnel management, grant writing, budget preparation, and more. Bart manages electrical and electromechanical systems and equipment, monitors existing equipment, identifies safety and energy-related cost-benefit improvements, and provides project management of electrical-related improvements, upgrades, and construction projects for both housing mutuals and GRF.
When I first visited this community, I noticed beautiful landscapes, well-maintained buildings and roads, and vibrant and active residents. This community embraces technology, promotes sustainability, and is taking steps to reduce its carbon footprint. I am happy to have been selected to this position and to continue with these goals. With your support, I hope to also apply my experience to improve in other areas such as resiliency, implementing smart energy measures, and taking proactive steps to extend the life expectancy of facilities and their components while continuing to provide unparalleled customer service. Thank you.
Maria Popescu, Village Management Services' new Community Services Supervisor, has more than 10 years' experience in communications, public relations, and marketing, as well as 3 years' experience in housing solutions. Her skill set includes operations, logistics, project and budget management, and more. Prior to joining VMS, Maria was a special projects manager, logistics manager, and associate director of logistics for Illumination Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to breaking the cycle of homelessness by providing housing options and navigation, behavioral health treatment, recuperative care, and substance abuse counseling. At VMS, Maria is instrumental in facilitating automation of the resales and leasing processes, which today are largely manual, redundant, and paper-based.
I feel so fortunate and happy to be part of the community services team here at Laguna Woods Village. I love working with and for people. As a team supervisor, I am seeking to identify technological advancement opportunities within the department, implement automation of resale, leasing, and other department processes to the maximum extent possible, and to effectively communicate with real estate professionals and escrow officers. Laguna Woods Village residents' experience starts with us in the Community Services Department when they first purchase or lease. This first impression lasts with them forever. We have the duty to create the most pleasant, memorable customer experience. The decision to move to Laguna Woods Village was made before they meet us, but we have to make sure we reinforce that positive decision with the quality of our services. I am obsessed with the efficiency and effectiveness of department operations. I hope that my expertise in project management will improve the workflow in the department and positively impact the productivity standards, the staffing, the reporting, and company results.
Manuel Gomez, Village Management Services' new director of the Maintenance and Construction Department, has more than 30 years' experience in serving municipal public works departments. As the Maintenance and Transportation Manager for the City of Santa Ana, Manuel provided oversight of the maintenance, development services, and transportation functions of the Public Works Agency. As a Senior Project Manager for Interwest Consulting, he served as Interim Public Works Director for the cities of Laguna Beach and San Clemente. As Director of Public Works for the City of Irvine, Manuel provided leadership and policy direction for the development, construction, and maintenance of various public works infrastructure projects and programs, and was responsible for an annual operating budget of $65 million and a capital improvement program of more than $450 million. He worked closely with Woodbridge Village Association, a mutual benefit nonprofit corporation and private homeowners association with more than 9,600 homes and an overall population of approximately 30,000 residents. Manuel is responsible for VMS's enormous maintenance and construction department, which includes maintenance operations and services, damage restoration, projects division, and manor alterations.
Hi, I'm Manuel Gomez. One of my primary goals as your new Maintenance and Construction Department Director is to work with our dedicated staff to enhance our customer service interactions with our residents. We understand the importance of keeping your facilities and your home in the best condition possible for you to enjoy. I look forward to working with the boards and serving the residents of Laguna Woods Village. Thank you.
Koshita, Village Management Services' new maintenance operations manager, has 17 years of experience applying extensive planning and problem-solving skills to enhance business processes and day-to-day activities. His skill set includes project and construction management, budget oversight, associate development, multifamily operations, capital improvement, and commercial management. Prior to joining VMS, Co was maintenance manager for Brookfield Properties, multi-site maintenance supervisor for City Realty Trust, and more. At VMS, Co manages the maintenance operations division, including paint and prior to paint, carpentry, extermination, general maintenance, and interior component programs.
Hello, my name is Co. It's an honor to serve the residents of the village. I'm interested in learning from the residents and providing solutions to issues that will arise. It is my value to do the job the first time and in a timely manner. I look forward to serving the residents of the village and growing the maintenance operation department.
That concludes the video.
Okay, thank you. Siobhan, do you have anything further to say?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. I was very pleased at seeing the quality of people that are being hired. And I can't help but feel that going forward, this is going to be a benefit to our community. So the next item on our agenda is the open forum. 3 minutes per speaker. At this time, members may address the board of directors regarding items not on the agenda and with the jurisdiction of the board of directors. The board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time allotted for the open forum for 30 minutes. Speakers may not give their time to other people. No audio or video recording by attendees, and no rude or threatening comments to members. Members can attend the meeting by joining the Zoom link or by sending an email to have your message read during the open forum. Do we have any speakers, Grant?
We do. Our first speaker will be Gloria Moldau.
Thank you.
Grant, may I begin anytime?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gloria Moldau, 3503A, Bahia Blanca. Just want to say that I watched Director Dotson's really impressive presentation about charging stations at last month's GRF meeting. But we all know that reliable data may be difficult to obtain in this community. And then when you combine that with anecdotal evidence, you're looking for trouble. And once you extrapolate from incorrect numbers, you can go down the wrong direction. So I must argue today with Director Dotson's conclusions and say that they're off base. And I think GRF should jump at the opportunity that SCE is offering us to partner with charging stations. In addition to the fact that Director Dotson pretty much ignored federal and state mandates that we have to move in that direction, and the available new car subsidies bring down the prices considerably. I have four main criticisms of that analysis. Number one, the number of EV vehicles in the community are way off. Dotson relied on faulty data about the number of electric or plug-ins in the village, and so her extrapolation was wrong. The data that staff provided refers only to residents with carports who plug their cars into common area electricity. It doesn't include all of us who own electric and plug-in vehicles with garages. Over the last couple of years, I've had 4 EVs and plug-in cars, and I don't show up in any data. So just assuming that an equivalent number, and maybe even more, of people with garages own cars that require the plug-ins, it more than doubles the numbers that Debbie provided. Secondly, people are buying electric cars much more often. Debbie relied on the faulty assumption that because in the past, people have kept their cars 10 or 11 years, that they'll continue to do so. But that assumption no longer applies. About a third of cars are now leased, according to Edmunds, and that number has been rising sharply because the finances of leasing have been much improved, and all that new technology is also improved, so that I think there'll be more new EVs than possible. My second complaint is that, my third, that I want to say that older people are buying cars in greater numbers. If we rely just on the average age of residents here, which is close to 80, one would think, oh, old people aren't buying the cars, but that's not so. Because older residents are buying cars for several reasons. First of all, let me just say that we're not all old, that our community, according to census data, really—
3 minutes have expired.
Really? Oh, Grant, I think you counted all the time when I wasn't on. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you counted.
Can you sum it up? Gloria?
Pardon me?
Please just sum it up. Yeah.
Oh, sum it up.
Just sum it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I think we have to relook at the data, and I think that we should go ahead and partner with SCE, and that we've got to have charging stations now and going forward for new residents.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Kitty Platt.
Okay, I'm starting. I hope my timer's starting now because this is the first time anyone can hear me. Is that correct?
That's correct. You may begin.
Okay, so my name.
Start when you start.
Okay, so I'm talking now. Can you hear me? Somebody just nod their head yes, if you can. Okay, great. Kitty Platt, 3249B. I'm a resident member and a realtor who represents buyers and sellers in Laguna Woods Village. And I'm constantly meeting new people who are looking here for homes to buy. So property values, amenities, and services are extremely important to them and to us as current residents. Many of them either have electric cars or are planning to buy electric cars when they replace their current gas-powered cars. So they ask about charging stations at home, how many, how quickly they can charge their cars, and how close they are. California has set a goal of 100% zero emission energy sources for the state's electricity by 2045. In 2020, an executive order was signed that amounts to the most aggressive clean car policy in the United States. Although it bans the sale of new gas cars and trucks after the 15-year deadline, it will still allow those vehicles to be owned and sold in used car markets. California would be the first state in the country with such a ban, joining at least 15 countries, including France and Germany, that have made similar pledges to phase out gas-powered cars. Since car manufacturers are well aware of this trend, and they are tending to move toward electric and producing more models and are selling them very quickly. To think that Laguna Woods Village residents won't need convenient higher voltage charging stations doesn't make common sense, especially when Southern California Edison's is giving incentives to install them. So as an example, both my husband and I live in Laguna Woods Village and drive chargeable electric cars. Since we have one carport with one 110-volt outlet, it's difficult to charge both cars adequately and quickly. Two of my neighbors and I also share that one carport outlet. One currently has an electric golf cart and is thinking of purchasing an electric car. If that were to happen, already there are 3 things using it. And if that were to happen, that would make 4 vehicles charging on one outlet that doesn't even completely charge one car when plugged in overnight. Conveniently located charge stations would be of immense value since these carport outlets tend to overload and shut off the breakers. And to think that more and more people won't be sharing these carport outlets that frequently overload is very short-sighted. So please consider adding conveniently located, higher powered charging stations, especially since SCE is helping with the funding now. Thank you.
All right.
Do we have another
we
speaker?
do have somebody who's requesting to speak. However, the name states golfer. If you would please state your first, last name, and manor number, please.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hear you, can't see you.
If you would
Sorry. Yeah.
please state your first, last name, and manor number.
Yes, this is Mark Luftig in 2121C. I'd like to talk about the golf reservation online system. When it was put into place back in March, I looked at it to be prepared, and I noticed that playing as a single, which I do, you're not allowed to make a reservation. I called the golf shop, and they said, no, singles can't make a reservation. All they can do is call up the morning that they want to play, and they'll try and get you out there. This is horribly unfair. Twosomes, threesomes, and foursomes can make a reservation and plan their lives accordingly. Singles can't do that. The only times that are wind up available to singles to play are either first thing in the morning, which means getting up at 6 a.m., or in the afternoons when it's very hot. And pretty soon, winter is coming. There'll be less daylight. There'll be fewer available tee times, and singles will be lucky if they get to play at all. It's not really an issue of when you get to play. It's an issue is does everybody in Laguna Woods have equal rights to the amenities of Laguna Woods? Right now, single golfers don't. Thank you.
Eileen, do we have any email comments?
We do not.
That concludes our open forum speakers.
Okay, thank you. Are there any responses from the directors to the open forum speakers? Me? First, Debbie, okay.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Moldau and Ms. Platt for their comments on electric vehicles. If you did watch my presentation, you saw that I mentioned several times that we had not made any decisions regarding EV charging in the community, that these were simply opinions based on research that was done by both myself and 3 of my master's degree grad students that are in engineering at National University. We did do a lot of research over a 3-month period. We used VMS's permits which again, as Mrs. Moldahl mentioned, they do not include garages because those people are free to purchase their own EV chargers if you have a garage, which would not have any effect on our community. And I also did say that even if I did mention doubling the numbers, so that even if the numbers were not what they might be for, based on the changes that have been more recent, that even doubling the numbers, we gave a perspective of that. So it's not that we've made any decisions on EV charging, that we don't think that it's irrelevant. We do think it's very relevant. It's just a matter of what can we purchase, what can we sustain, and how many do we really need? And that has not been determined yet. So I just wanted to make that clear, but I do appreciate their input. And again, I said at the very beginning of my presentation on the EV that this was an opinion, not facts they were facts based on what my people put together. But again, they're all subject to interpretation. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Egon?
Yeah, I just double up on what Debbie says about looking to see when the need arises and how it arises. We've been given some interesting ideas by Carl of United, and we will look at those also. But primarily, we will look at when the need arises and how the SCE program fits in. Even though it sounds like we're getting a lot of stuff for free, we are not necessarily getting that stuff for free. So we will look at the program and we'll monitor what the current usage is, as we have 7 charging stations behind the community center. And we'll see as those go along. Right now, the usage, we have not gotten the charge point numbers, but back of the envelope tells me maybe 10% usage right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any other comments? So, Brian, did you want to talk about one of the items that she was speaking to as far as the golf?
Yeah. Yes. Good morning. Thank you, Madam President. So I can give an update in regards to the golf singles question that the gentleman had. So at this time, we're still experiencing a very high volume of golfers. And the reason we were not allowing singles at this time is just to make sure that we maximize the amount of golfers that we get out on the golf course. This is something that is under review and will continue to be under review. So once we identify a trend that the tee time reservations are kind of dropping off a little bit and people are doing different activities, then we will certainly reintroduce that where singles can make a golf tee time reservation as well.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the consent calendar. All matters under the consent calendar are recommended by action by committees and will be enacted by the board by one motion. In the event an item is removed from the consent calendar by members of the board, such items shall be subject to further discussion and action by the board. Recommendation from Finance Committee. A, consistent with statutory obligations, the subcommittee of the board, consistent of the treasurer and at least one other board member, reviewed and approved preliminary Gold Rain Foundation Gold Rain financials for the month of July 2021. By this vote, ratify that such review be confirmed in this month's board member open session meeting minutes. Are there any objections? So if there is no objections, the consent calendar is approved. So the next item of business is the unfinished business. A, entertain a motion to adopt amended resolution for 2022 fee increase for lockers, golf, driving range, caterer, and storage units, and just make a note that in September 28 day notification for member reviewing comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. Joan, will you read the resolution? We can't hear you. I'm not hearing you. Grant, can you help her a little bit?
Yes, I can try to reach out to Director Millman.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just had to switch speakers. All right, I'd like to read just the changes. This is Resolution 90-21 XX, Golf Fees Pricing Policy. Proposed 2022 golf driving range fees. Golf driving range quarter bucket of balls from $1 now is proposed $2. The small bucket of balls from $2 to $4. The large bucket of balls from $3 to $6. And this has been approved by the Finance Committee, so I'll read the rest of it. Whereas at the June 23rd, 2021 Finance Committee meeting, the committee affirmed the CAC recommendation of the fee increases for golf driving range beginning January 1st, 2022. And now, therefore, be it resolved, and this should be September 7th, 2024, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves of the fee increases for golf driving range beginning January 1st, 2022, and resolve further that this resolution shall be effective January 1st, 2022, and Resolution 90-18-03 adopted January 2nd, 2018 is hereby superseded and canceled, and fees updated according to this resolution. And further resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move we accept this resolution to increase the golf fees in 2022, January 1st, 2022.
Are there any questions?
We need a second.
Any discussion?
We need a second.
Debbie seconds it.
Okay.
Are there any questions? Yvonne? I saw your hand up. No? The only comment that I want to make on the resolution, which is actually a typo, I just want to make sure that that the residents and director know that we have not changed the green fees for 3 years. And what we are voting for is for basically in this resolution is only the change in the driving range, but the green fees remain the same and have been the same for the last 3 years. And before this, and so these other figures that are in the 2021 fee will be corrected. It's just an edit problem there. Thank you. So are there any objections to this resolution? If there are no objections, then the resolution for the golf driving fees has been approved. So there is another resolution also, Joan.
I'm working on it. Oh, this one. Oh, boy. It's the catering fee. Resolution 90-21-XX, 2022 catering fee. Basically, the change is increasing the catering fee per plate from $1 to $2 in 2022. So therefore, be it resolved September 7th, 2021, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the fee increase for caterers servicing club, organizations, and resident private parties beginning January 1st, 2022. And resolve further that this resolution shall be effective January 1st, 2022, and Resolution 90-16-18 is hereby superseded and canceled, and fees updated according to this resolution. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move we accept this resolution to increase the catering fee by $1 in 2022.
Do I hear a
Second?
second?
Who was that? Debbie?
Yvonne,
I second it.
Thank you.
Okay.
thank you. Is there any discussion? And Egon?
Yeah, when I first saw this fee, I was kind of surprised that we're being charged a fee to eat a plate of food in the village. All of the other things that we rent out, for example, the lockers, we provide a service, or we provide a venue that's being used. The same thing with the buckets of balls, we provide something. With the larger locker areas that work on the dogs or storage spaces, we provide something. But with the diner, the people dining, we don't provide anything. They already rent the room, just like everybody else does. And so this is a straight pass-through fee on their activity. We don't tax dancing. We don't have people pay a fee just to play golf. They pay the golf fee for the land, but not for the right to golf. This is the same thing for all of these clubs that have lunches or dinners. Is they already pay the fee for the room, so why should they pay the fee to eat? This is, and now you call it the caterer's fee, but this is straight pass through to the diner eating the food. I've already seen that at the clubs where I'm participating. Thank you.
Okay, so Brian?
Yeah, I can certainly respond to that. So we do provide some certain services, such as the plates, utensils, cups, drinking cups, and so forth, when they do have an event at the facility. So this fee helps offset, because plates break, things disappear, they have to be replaced. We also do the washing of the dishes, and that is also obviously takes water and detergent, and also staff to clean them up and put them back. So that there is a certain level of service that we do provide.
Okay, Joan, did you have a remark? No? Is there any other discussion? Okay, is there no further discussions, or is there any objections at this point? So there are no objections, the resolution is approved. Thank you. So there's another resolution, Joan, for the lockers.
Right. Resolution 90-21-XX, 2022 storage area fees. I'm just going to read the fees. These lockers were not charged for before, and now proposed 2022 storage area fees. For the small lockers, 12 by 24 by 20 inches and up, $25 is proposed. For the medium-sized lockers, 30 inches by 24 by 30 inches and up, $50 is proposed. And for the large storage areas, 5 feet by 5 feet and up, $100 is proposed per year. Whereas the Finance Committee has also affirmed the recommendation. So now therefore be it resolved September 7th, 2021, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves of the fee increases for the club storage areas beginning January 1st, 2022. Resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I move that we approve the 2022 storage area fees.
Is there a second? Yeah. Debbie seconded it. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Are there any objections? So if there are no objections, the resolution is approved by unanimous consent. Thank you. The next item of business is to approve Restaurant 19, MBT Restaurant Vendors. Yes?
Are you on 11A? Is that where we are?
John?
Sorry.
No, we're on, oh, I'm sorry. I went straight to the new.
Yeah, we're on 11B.
Business, didn't I?
Yep.
Okay. And I apologize for that. So let's go back to unfinished business. And the next item on B is to entertain a motion to approve the 2022 GRF business plan and reserves funding plan. Okay.
Okay. Resolution 90-21-XX, 2022 Business Plan Resolution. Resolved September 7th, 2021, that the business plan of this corporation for the year 2022 is hereby adopted and approved. And resolved further that pursuant to said business plan, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby estimates that the sum of $41,271,680 will be required by the corporation to meet its annual expenses of operation for the year 2022. Additionally, $2,598,144 is planned for reserve contributions and $764,164 is planned for a contingency fund contribution. After deducting $1,222,656 derived from prior year's surplus and the sum of $10,168,650 expected to be received from various sources as revenue during 2022, the Board of Directors hereby estimates that the net sum of $33,242,678 will be required to be paid by the corporation members in accordance with the terms of that certain trust agreement dated March 2nd, 1964, as amended, and the bylaws of the corporation. And resolve further that this corporation shall charge each member the sum of $217.50 per month per membership of said corporation for its share of the aforesaid net expenses and reserve contributions for the year 2022. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve this resolution.
Is there a second?
Looks like Gan.
I second it.
Yvonne seconded. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Joan?
Yes, I just want to mention that although that sum of $217.50 looks terrible, what it really is $11.90 per man or per month, an increase of 5.8%.
Okay. Further discussion, John, and then Egon.
Thank you. I just want to say there won't be enough time to cover everything I'd like to cover in comments about the budget, but I strongly, as I possibly can, oppose our approval of this budget. This goes back, I'll just try to hit a couple highlights and not abuse the board's time, but it goes back to my getting on the GRF board as treasurer, just finding example after example of things that needed to be questioned and studied, only to find interference at every level to try to get that information I requested in order to make good financial decisions, to the point where I needed to resign as treasurer. Now, 3 years ago, I told our community that we were facing a huge financial crisis on insurance, and met with a lot of the same sort of resistance. I don't see it. I don't get it. Staff didn't want to move forward. I had Farmers Insurance sitting in our office with an opportunity to solve that crisis, and they were turned away without the chance to even consider it. Why that's relevant is I want our community to know that I feel we're in that exact position right now for our entire operations, budget, and financial position. And a good specific example you can take away today and decide for yourself, whether a board member or a community member, is we all know we have huge capital investment needs to update our clubhouses, perhaps improve or even create new facilities that would serve us for decades to come in future generations. And what do we find on our current budget? We're reducing the reserve contribution, yet we're raising operations by a significant margin, some $14 a month. And the answer when asked about why we're doing that, well, we're actually raising the trust facility fee to offset the decrease in our reserve funding. Well, that's not helping fund future clubhouses. What that's doing is keeping resident assessments slightly lower while we raise operational fees. We haven't studied operations up, down, and sideways to see where there might be cost-effective savings. So there's just example after example finalized by a memo today from yet another board member who I highly respect, board member Garthoffner, who's questioning a tax liability that was presented in our budget meetings this year for the first time of some $600,000 based on a sale that was made, a dropping of a contract that was made in our cable operations. And what I want him and our community to know is he was recommending we don't rehire our auditors. That's not our auditor's responsibility to present that. That is our staff's responsibility to identify those tax liabilities, present them to the board, and have that evaluated to determine if that's a good move for us. We found out as a board that that tax was paid after it was paid. So there's just example after example of it may be fully trustworthy. We have great people on our boards. They have the best of intentions. We have an excellent staff. They extremely diligent and work hard. The system operates where we overlook a lot of inefficiencies and waste that I've proven in document after document.
Point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order.
Is this 3 minutes up?
It's not. We get the point, John. You're opposed to it.
Joan, you may believe that. I would like to finish my comments, please.
You have 3 minutes.
You have 1 minute left.
That's all I ask, is to let the community know that the only solution that I've heard in the 12 months I've been on GRF board or less that solves our financial issues is to raise costs on residents. And you're seeing it from all the mutuals as well as GRF this year. And they'll be proven right. Our staff has no motivation to lower costs. There's no incentive for them to do that. So I don't hold them accountable. We have to come up with strategies that they can then study to reduce costs or increase revenues, and we're not doing it. So I leave you with the thought that our community needs to ask these questions of our board and get board members that are committed to controlling assessments with all documentation presented, or we'll continue to have operations like this. We are facing a financial crisis, exactly as I said 3 years ago with insurance. Take it as you see fit, but $10 million a year later on insurance, I don't come empty-handed with information about financial crises. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, John. Egon, and then Debbie.
Okay, as we learned during the budget process, there was a tax event that happened this year. The question is, what was taxed? It appears, although we are not given the information, as John so clearly pointed out, we were not given any in-depth information about this. But reading between the lines, it looks like the funding that people paid including myself, okay, for broadband service, television service, was larger than the expenses presented by those services. So therefore, the excess was taxed by the federal government in the state of California. My question is, where is the rest of the money? How much is the rest of that money? And the question is, who does it belong to? Well, it belongs to the people that overpaid on their bills. So my question is, has that money been rolled into the budget? If it has been rolled into the budget, that's called commingling, and that's not legal under any circumstances. And I know someone whose life was ruined when they did a little commingling of somebody's trust who hadn't quite died yet. And so if this is our money, that is ours being the payers of those accounts, being rolled into the GRF budget, I'd like to know about it before I vote. And I'd like it explained. Also, I think it is high time for the CEO to explain the tax event clearly, honestly, and above board. Thank you.
Debbie.
I just wanted to say, as you all know, I've only been on the board a few months, but I have attended all of the budget meetings for months. And many of my questions, and I had a lot of them, they were answered to my satisfaction. Nobody wants to pay more money. We did not want to raise the assessment, but of the assessment, the amount we're raising, a good percentage of that is for the insurance, which we all know has affected every mutual as well as GRF. I've asked a lot of questions along with what Egon said and what John Pearlstone said. I've asked those questions myself to satisfy myself. Do I still have questions? Of course. And that's what our job is, to do our fiduciary responsibility and to ask those questions, which we will continue to do. I just feel that at this point, we have spent months to get to today, and that doesn't mean the process stops. I'm on the budget committee, and I will continue to ask questions anytime something doesn't appear correct to me, or if I'm not able to understand it easily. I feel confident in Jim Hopkins' abilities as our treasurer, and I feel confident in the two accounting people that we have now, Steve and Jose, that they are going to do the best job that they can for us. But at some point, we have to all do make our best business judgments based on the information that we have. These questions that are coming up today, particularly from Director Garthofner, they could have been asked months ago. So I'm not sure why we're talking about that today, but perhaps there's going to be an answer shared now, and I hope so that he feels comfortable with what he's been told in the past. But I think we've had the answer to this question 2 or 3 times so far, but let's hear it again. And that's all I wanted to say, that this has not been an easy process, and we all know it's hard.
Okay, Steve, do you want to speak?
Yes, good morning, President Comforter and members of the board. With regards to the tax situation, specifically the business that is the GRF broadband services, that is a taxable work center. So the way it works out is we identify all the costs associated with it, that department, offset by the incoming revenues. Typically what happens is those equate to zero, as you would expect. Therefore, on a year-to-year basis, you have no tax liability. However, in 2020, a decision was made to terminate one of the channels. Therefore, it resulted in a savings of $1.5 million. So given the fact that, again, GRF is a taxable, GRF broadband is a taxable work center, the offset to that was $600,000 in taxes. The resulting $900,000 difference, 1.5 minus $600,000, all of that $900,000 was presented to the board after year end, and it was recommended by staff to move that money into the contingency fund. That was completed in, I believe, May or June, And that money is going to be used as an offset. That was presented as part of the 2022 budget.
Okay, Egon, do you have any further questions? Can't hear you.
At the last MNC meeting, meeting and communications meeting, Mr. Ortiz presented a case where Showtime has increased their fees for this coming year, and that amounts to $1.58 per viewer. And he pointed out that they were sending out, or we're going to vote on, the approval to increase the fees by $1.58. Yet when the fees went down $1.5 million, Mr. Ortiz did not notify anyone. They did not cut the bill, which is properly what they should have done. Okay? So this is not VMS money. This is members' money that pay a fee to watch television. Okay? We're not supposed to pay more than the fee for the television. But we did. And we're still doing it apparently, so we may be doing another tax liability this coming year. So that's what when I asked for a report of the tax event, I meant layout and why was the bill for the broadband not reduced to reflect the $1.5 billion drop in expenses. This is wrong. It is not VMS money. It is not GRF money. It is the money of the people that paid into the accounts. Thank you.
So, Egon, I want to ask one question. What fee are you referring to? Because cable is provided to all the residents. It's provided by GRF.
And the broadband fee, includes the cable. We've been told that over and over.
So, Steve, can you answer that? Because I don't see that we're paying fees for our TV. I see we're paying fees for the set-top box and any additional, if we want HBO or some of that. But those are the only things that I'm paying for. But the basic TV, we don't pay for. We don't. It's all included in maybe the per man or per month, or where are those fees shown?
Right. So two pieces, and you're correct in that when I mentioned the costs earlier with regards to broadband, the revenues and the expenses that are incoming. So they're intended to offset each other, and that takes care of the overall the bills for regular cable costs. So that is managed through your budgetary processes and throughout. So Egon, when you were saying that you're unaware of where the monies are coming from, so all the fee changes. So that's communicated from the cable perspective. That's communicated during the budget presentations. So when all the department managers came in and provided the explanations of all the changes, so there were surely some decreases, there were surely some increases. But those were presented again during the budget presentations. With regards to the increase to Showtime, so once again, I believe those were brought forward very recently, and members were notified of the increases. So all of that, it is, to repeat what you were saying, so the money does belong to the community, and we're forthcoming with as much information as we have available to us. So whether it be during the budget presentations or when it comes to the individual channels, those changes are shared during meetings.
Thank you. So Jeff, and then Debbie.
To the president and to the board members, the only thing I also wanted to mention was on insurance, which was an increase of $9.21 of that $11.90 that you're talking about. Also, you had an increase in your contingency fund. So there is actually operating wise, if you took away the contingency increase and if you took away the insurance costs, there was actually a reduction in the operating costs on a per man or per month. So the two major points, going back to the discussion earlier, was insurance, which was a $9.21 increase per man or per month, and a $5 increase in your contingency fund. That's all I had to say.
Thank you. Debbie? Debbie?
Yeah, I'd like perhaps Steve or Jose to just explain this one more time so that people listening can also understand this. So the total we had left over was $1.5 million in operating expenses. And because of that, we got a tax liability on this change in the broadband. I think where everybody is getting hung up on is this, what part, we paid a tax liability because we had too much money left over. And that's what this is about. Take the broadband piece out of it. That was just, it wasn't $1.5 million because we stopped buying channel 5, TV 5. So explain, the $1.5 million was the whole operational budget that was left over. That made a tax implication of the $600,000. Is my understanding of that correct, so that everybody listening right now can understand that?
To an extent. So when you turned off when you made the decision to cancel one of the channels, so there was a direct $1.5 million savings from that specific decision. So, and because of the revenues are established at the beginning of the year, and you cut $1.5 million out of the expense, you were left over with a surplus at year end. And as I mentioned before, given the fact that the broadband specifically is a taxable work center, that $600,000 tax that resulted from that transaction at the end of the year. So, and once again, I'll repeat it, the money came back to you, so as a community. So $1.5 million was the savings offset by $600,000 in tax. The remainder of that savings was given back to the community. So and it now resides in your contingency fund based upon a board-approved decision.
Okay. Okay. So, Egon, are there any further questions?
Okay, so Steve just said it. He said that it was reduced, the expenses were reduced by 1.5 million. He said, but the payment was established at the beginning of the year and therefore wasn't changed. Well, it should have been changed. Okay? It should have been changed. That's why I would like to see all of the stuff laid out for broadband, and we will see that the money comes of the excess, 1.4 million of the 1.5, because that's what the reduction is in the budget, came from the owners of this community. Okay, so therefore it does not go back to the owners in any way, shape, or form. And had the payments been reduced in January, when management realized that the reduction of costs to Channel 5 had disappeared, they should have reduced the contribution that people made. That's where the 1.5 million comes from. And that is what you keep denying. I mean, we do not, none of the assessments that we put in are taxable when it's assessment money. Okay? So if the broadband money came from advertising, so be it. That's fine. But the rest of the stuff came from our contribution. And so there's something wrong with this whole picture about not coming clean with the tax deal. And, the taxes happened way in March. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody said, hey, listen, folks, we got extra money this year. So I feel that this is money that is being paid for or paid into an account by the owners, and it should be returned to the owners when it was found to be in excess, because the owners no longer had access to Channel 5. That's why the expenses were reduced.
Okay.
President Carpenter, we also have comments from the audience as well. Teresa Frost and Richard Rader.
Well, first, can we talk? Thank you. So, Eileen, would you like to speak then?
Yeah, there's just a couple of things that I want to point out just to clarify. First of all, when Director, Garth Hopper brought up Showtime, we're mixing apples and oranges. The only people that pay for Showtime are the people, there are about 340 some people in the village that subscribe to Showtime. So that's their choice, just like other people subscribe to some other paid channels. That's a direct payment that you pay. We've been losing money on that Showtime because the price of it to us has increased over the last several years, and we have not increased the prices. So I want to make sure everyone understands. And Egon, do you understand that clearly?
I understand that absolutely clearly. I was just using that as a point where over $1, you get onto the media and you inform people about it, and yet over 1.5 million you did not inform. Thank you.
The second thing that I want to point out, because I want to be very fair, and there seems to be so much criticism of staff, Paul Ortiz did nothing wrong. Paul Ortiz did not take this over until the beginning of this year. This is a decision that was made by the Media and Communication Committee well over a year ago, and it was also not for Channel 5, it's for Fox Sports, most of our Fox Sports West. So again, I just want to make sure that we get emotional. It's an emotional issue. I understand that it's very difficult for people to grasp how it happened. I'm going to leave it to our accountant, finance professionals to explain that part to you, but I just want to make sure that we're keeping our facts straight when we're having these debates. Thank you.
Keeping our facts straight, I would like to point out I did not make any criticism of Mr. Ortiz in any way, shape, or form. I merely pointed out something that he said at the MNC last committee meeting. Thank you.
Okay, but Egon, he did not tell us something. That's what I want to make sure is clear.
Okay, so Grant, who are the speakers that would like to speak?
Teresa Frost has a written comment. It says, should that money be used only on the area it was saved, or can it be moved to different bucket?
So Jose, would you answer that? Or Steve?
Sure. Just reiterating what Steve had already commented, all that operating surplus was transferred into the contingency fund. So it is made available to GRF, and GRF has that money in the contingency fund now. So that is where the money is. It went in its entirety and stayed in GRF.
And if I may add on to that, with regards to commingling of funds, the contingency fund, where the money was moved from, that is in fact an operating fund. So I want to make certain that you have two overriding funds at the top level. You have reserve and you have operating. Contingency is a subset of operating. So by no means is it commingling of funds.
Thank you, because that was one of the questions I had. How could anyone interpret the commingling of funds? Because I couldn't see it. So thank you. All right. So let's let the next speaker speak. That's Grant.
The next speaker is Richard Rader.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. This is Dick Rader. I have several things. One is, if I understand it correctly, we're taxed on the 1.5 mil. If that's correct, it looks to me like it's a 40% tax or in that neighborhood. And I thought that corporate taxes have been reduced below 40%. That's item one. Item two, would it have been possible in retrospect to have taken the monies that were in excess and spent them on, let's say, the broadcast station, on future equipment needs that we knew were going to happen in the future, in which case we would have reduced the tax liability. My last point is, all this is very important discussion. However, I don't think it should hold up the budget being approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Steve?
Sure. With regards to the tax rate, the 39%, that is 30% coming from your federal, which is a standard rate, and 8.84 for state, which equates to 39 in total.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Egon?
I have one final question. Could we please, I noticed Jim is shaking his head from time to time. Could we please have an accounting of this? Let's get the income tax form that we paid for. We paid to have the taxes written up. We would like to get that information. We would like to see what the income stream is to the fund that was taxed, so that we clearly see where it's coming from. Yeah, if I'm wrong about this, I have no problem backing off. But right now, I have not been convinced that this income source is anything but the money that we contributed with our payments. So I see, and we have not had income taxes in the past. The government doesn't tax expenses, it taxes excess income, okay, or excess funds. And so I'd like to know where the excess came from. And I think we deserve an answer to that, period.
Okay, my thinking is I would love to just have Steve and Jose meet with Egon and basically go over it line by line, so that there's a better understanding. But I really don't want to hold up the budget approval. Staff has extensively, been very transparent. We have gone through committees. We have gone through many meetings, and we came to the conclusion that we feel that this budget is reasonable based on all the information we were given. We were also given an opportunity to question every single item that was on the budget. And this was what I asked for in this budget process, so that we would have the whole board, all the boards would have a better understanding of what we are approving. And I just can't help but feel that there are just a few items that that there are still questions. That's obvious. But I would like, Steve and know him, just exactly what he's talking about. Okay, so John was next and Jim, and then I would really like to take a vote. We need to get after that. John?
Thank you, Bunny. I want to clarify where I stand on the cable tax issue and not dig any deeper into those numbers that Egon's asking about. My concern was it was a symptom of a much bigger problem, and that there was a presentation of a $1.5 million savings to our board saying this is what it will impact our budget. And assessments were based on a $1.5 million savings without any awareness that there was going to be $600,000 taxed on that. It should be the responsibility of our staff working with our accountants to identify any tax ramifications when these things are presented. That seems crystal clear in any financial operation. You want to always assess tax implications. Those were not assessed. Then suddenly we're told there's a $600,000 tax liability. Dick Rader brought up the exact point. There are ways to mitigate, minimize, or eliminate that tax. If we knew about it ahead of time, there could have been a variety of strategies discussed for ways to reduce or eliminate that tax before it ever occurred. So, point being, that's one of 20 areas that I've brought up during the course of the year that could be dug deeper, could lead to savings for our community, and just were never explored. Maybe some of it was oversight, maybe some of it was, interference. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying we weren't as thorough as we're representing, in my opinion, to the community on this budget. And I just wanted everybody to be clear on that because, Egon has a different issue and I respect it and you can look at it all you want. I'm simply saying we're not being given the financial data we need to fiscally responsibly manage this community. So that is my thank you.
Thank you. Jim?
Yeah, let me just say, I support an analysis so that Egon can understand how it all works. but we've got several issues here, one of which is timing. One is current year, another is perspective, another is maybe a year and a half or 2 years back. So you've got all these things impacting our per matter per month or operating per matter per month. But with regard to the broadband is I'm going to call it a profit center, but it doesn't make profit. Year before, it is a shared amenity that was estimated to cost us something almost $20 per matter per month because it is shared. And then we had a windfall profit, if you will, because we decided to cut costs. And in the enthusiasm to cut costs, we did not consider at the time the tax implications. That's what happened. So is it some sort of clandestine motivation to commingle funds and all of the mistrust? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But let's do the analysis so that everybody understands. But let's do it with an understanding that it starts with trust. And what I hear is we just don't trust. And that's what this is disturbing to me. I don't trust, but I also verify. And I'm comfortable with what has transpired. Very comfortable with what we have. And I look forward to hearing everybody's assessment, including where we're going strategically with our planning, so that we all can understand where we stand today relative to our strategies going towards the future.
President Carpenter, there is also one comment from a written comment from Teresa Frost. She says, just a comment about cable fees. We do pay for basic cable as a line item in our assessments.
Per banner per month, right. Okay, thank you. Jim, you're done, I'm assuming? You're turned off here? And what I would like to do is, we've had discussion, and I would like to take a vote at this point in time. So all those who approve the GRF 2022 business plan and reserve funding plan, please raise your hand. Okay, so there's one, two, I don't see any hands. Okay, so I see one. Grant, can you count them? I think it's important.
Use your hands from below.
Sure. So from what I see Director Milliman, Director Mukpadia, Director Hopkins, Director Tibbetts, Director Horton, and Director Dotson.
And myself.
And yes, and President Carpenter.
7.
Okay, how many is that then?
7.
So
7.
how many oppose?
Hands down.
Okay, hands down. How many oppose?
I'm going to abstain since I don't know what the numbers came from, so that's my position.
One opposed,
Okay.
one abstain.
So we have 7 for, is that correct?
Yes.
And 5 that oppose? No.
2 opposed.
4
One
that oppose? Okay.
Bunny.
2 opposed? Okay.
There's 1 opposed and 1 abstain.
Okay. All right, thank you. So the motion to approve the 2022 GRF business plan and reserve funding has approved. We'll go on to the next, the 2022 GRF capital plan. Will you read that resolution, Joan?
Resolution 90-21-XX. This is 2022 Reserves Funding Plan Resolution. whereas Civil Code number 5570 requires specific reserve funding disclosure statements for associations, and whereas planned assessments or other contributions for replacement reserves must be projected to ensure balances will be sufficient at the end of each year to meet the association's obligations for repair and or replacement of major components during the next 30 years. Now therefore be it resolved September 7th, 2021, that the board has developed and hereby adopts the replacement reserves 30-year funding plan attached, and the objective of maintaining replacement reserve balances at or above a threshold of $7,500,000 while meeting its obligations to repair and or replace major components, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve the 2022 Reserves Funding Plan Resolution.
We have a second. Jim is seconding. Thank you. Is there any discussion? So, John Frosto?
So I've outlined enough financial concerns in general. Specific concerns I have with this capital plan is it is taking the trust facilities fee, which is the fee that is paid when people purchase a manor, and applying it to essentially current concerns in the 30-year plan. So translated, for those who may not be as financially oriented, this 30-year plan is basically leaving us with the exact facilities we have today. There's really nothing built in to solve what's going to happen long-term with the Performing Arts Center, what's going to happen with Clubhouse One. The trust facilities fee is a good concept. I really support using it intelligently to help build our community. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to do it to maintain our community, which is essentially what this recommended increase is asking for, without any plan. And back to something that Director Dodson said, the questions were answered. I asked specifically in writing, what is our plan to fund facilities long-term? Got no answer. In strategic planning, we started discussing ways to take advantage of some of our assets to find funds without just asking our residents to pay more to get big projects done. But those have gotten nowhere so far simply because we're trying to work through the budget. I respect that. But now we're using some of these funds by changing the trust facilities fee that could have made a huge impact in helping us end up with better facilities long term. I also asked and got no answer to what would our budget have to look like for a zero increase in our assessment? What operations, what change would have to be made so we could see what we're paying for? And that never received a reply either. So again, the big concern I have, and then the board can consider that, is I don't have any problem with the capital funding plan. There's a lot of things that make sense. I have a big problem with using the trust facilities fee, which is our long-term future, to fund it. And therefore, that's what's created a lot of the problems with the entire budget, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Egon?
One thing that came out of John talking is that
Egon.
I'm speaking. We do not do planning very effectively. And when we try during the year, coming up to these budget meetings, generally speaking, we run into the same thing. Oh, we'll discuss that later or something like that. So we have a very, very poor long-term plan for the village. And frankly, staff is not helping us with that, because they tend to negate our questions at the time that we push for them. So I don't have any objection to the plan as it is, but I wanted to point out that I think John is right about our lack of planning.
I think we have lost President Carpenter from the meeting. We're trying to get her back on. Oh, I see. She has rejoined.
Point of order, Bunny. Point of order, Madam Chair, when you can. I want to be sure we're on the right resolution. We are on 11B 22 reserves funding plan resolution, not the capital plan.
That's correct, Joan.
I know I'm correct, but I'm not sure everybody is.
It's called a reserve. Many financial people would call it capital. So.
Okay, thank you. But the capital reserve's the next one.
Yeah, capital spending.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll put my hand down.
Just for clarification, Joan, what the capital plan, which is item C, is just the actual capital plan, the items, the actual,
right.
The reserve resolution is part of the budgetary process. That's why it's the structure the way it is.
Got it, thank you. Bunny, you're muted.
With the board's permission, I'll go ahead and.
There we go. Okay. So let's go back. We need to approve the reserves funding plan.
That's what we're working on. Yeah.
So are you going, right. So with the reserves funding plan, would you read the resolution again for the reserve funding plan?
I just read it.
Could we make sure that everyone understands where we're at? Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Okay, and we'd second it? So I got...
Jim seconded it, and then John made a comment.
Thank you. All right. So, is there any discussion?
Yeah, you've got two hands up.
All right. Jose?
Thank you, President. I just wanted to address some of Director Prostone's questions. And basically, the reserves funding plan, as we understand it today, is what was presented. This is a plan that was performed in-house. So we do go out to the facilities and make sure that everything there is in proper working order. We do have a plan as far as clubhouses and those kinds of things are concerned to go in periodically and make updates and adjustments to them. So all those funding are currently in the plan. However, Director Prostone talks about a couple of unknowns, and staff has heard you and the board has heard you. And to that end, part of the 2022 plans includes funding for a 2022 contracted reserve study where they'll do a little bit of further analysis and find out what more in depth is needed at those clubhouses specifically. And that's the way those things will be addressed. So I can assure you that the reserve funding plan currently, as we understand it, does have sufficient funding for the next 30 years. And moreover, we are going to engage we're going to contract the reserve study to help us out even further.
And that reserve Sunday, I understand, is a little bit different than we've had before. It's like an engineering reserve study, which actually reviews the clubhouses and facilities, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay, Jim.
Yes, in several meetings, I have explained what the reserve fund, capital funding is about. And also refer to a 5-year and 30-year plan in each one of those meetings. So I'm puzzled as to why why people don't understand that we are trying to project 30 years, and the formulas used to go beyond the first for each year. Actually, if you go into the Green Book, and if you look at the Green Book that will be published, you'll see a very detailed plan of spending. Now that's based on some formulas that are readily accepted in the financial world, in the HOA world, and that's what we use. To Jose's point, we understand that we are unique, and we also are 60 years old, so we're looking at trying to understand where we are and where we want to go with respect to GRF, with respect to our major buildings, clubhouses, and things of that nature. So we will, in 2022, have someone come in and take a look at and perform a reserve study for us. So we are planning for our future. This is just one step of it. This is 1 year of the spending that we are voting on right now. But yes, we have looked at our reserve fund, its adequacy given the formulas that everybody uses. And so we are comfortable as to where we're going. But what we are not comfortable with is the specific details and what we want to do. We have clubhouse committees that are taking a look at it in detail, what we want them to function as. So it's a working process that we are performing at the moment. As far as the trust facilities fee, we understand that we, among the Laguna Woods Village, are among the lowest of all of the Rossmore. Walnut Creek charges close to $8,000. Seal Beach, depending on what type of manor, can charge up to $10,000. So it is not unusual for it to be used as part of planning for our reserve future. In fact, it should have been, and it always has been. What we've done recently is to smooth it out so that we don't have the jumps in the jumps in our per manor per month. It's been looked at over a 5-year horizon as opposed to 1 year. If you look at previous plans, they had our per manor per month regarding reserves going all over the map. All right, and this year, for the first time, we will smooth it out so we will have expectations as to what our per manor per month is for the next 30 years, assuming everything goes well. So we are planning for the future, and the strategic planning is a part of what we're doing today. So I don't understand where the concern is. I mean, it starts with where do we want to go?
Okay, John?
If I can help a little with the concern. In that same presentation where this initially got laid out and was going to solve our problems for the next 30 years, I made the comment that was acknowledged by all in attendance that the proposed budget, green book, and all the financial data was for the community as it exists today. And that means that we will have this exact community that we have right now, aging buildings, exact performing arts center, exact clubhouse one, if we follow the green book. There was another item presented in that same meeting, which I don't know, raises a small concern to me. Perhaps Treasurer Hopkins feels differently about a need for some $40+ million to be raised over the next 30 years, in addition to the green book, to help fund some of the improvements in the clubhouses that were being discussed and considered in prior proposals. And I will say it again, 40 million over a period of whatever number of years, let's say 10 to 30 years. And when asked where we're getting that money, there is no proposals, no answers, no analysis, no anything on how we're going to find that money. And every time in 3 years of being on any board, a discussion like that comes up, it ends up right in our resident assessments. And that's where I'm talking about financial crisis. Sure, I'm on strategic planning with other ideas, but to count on anything like that ever getting approved based on what I'm seeing is concerning, to say the least. So it's all about where we want to go in improving the village. We can maintain it on this current budget, but that means big assessment increases for the exact same services and value we're getting today, which is aging buildings and an aging community. I don't think that's where we want to be. So that's my major concern. And now we're using trust facility fees dollars just to hold that. That's not sound financial planning.
Okay, Jim?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to start with this one, but prior to us looking at a 5-year and 30-year planning for the first time this year, it was simply a mechanical operation of just plugging in the numbers. And because we were only looking at 1 year at a time. Not that the calculation didn't go for 30 years, but we looked at 1 year at a time. But with that said, now that we're looking at the entire package, okay, it goes together with what's going on with strategic planning, or what we hope will go on with strategic planning, and our future. The change in the trust facilities fee was an acknowledgement that the way we were projecting would come up short if we had any sort of real changes in our clubhouses. And so it actually recognized the fact that we needed more money given what we were talking about in terms of our future for clubhouses. So I'm not clear as to what is, and I don't want to get into a debate, but I'm not clear as to what was being said regarding us running out of money for reserves, and we're studying that whole issue this coming year. We're studying. We're having someone from the outside saying, what do we want to do? We have clubhouse committees that are geared towards giving us an outline of how we will use our clubhouses in our future. And I would hope that the strategic planning committee would be intimately involved with that or with those committees so that the entire planning of it can result in a vision document that gives us all some comfort that we are considering what we need to do.
Thank you. Is there any more discussion? Okay, if there's no more discussion, I would like to vote on the reserves funding plan. All those in favor of the reserves funding plan, please raise your hand, and Grant, will you count it? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? We have 8.
Yes.
Okay. Any objection?
I oppose.
Those who did, okay. Thank you. And the motion to approve the 2022 GRF Reserves Funding Plan is approved. Thank you. So the next item is to entertain a motion to approve the 2022 GRF Capital Plan. So Joan, would you read that resolution?
Resolution 90-21-XX, 2022 Capital Plan Resolution. Resolved September 7th, 2021, that the Capital Reserve Expenditures Plan of this corporation for the year 2022 is hereby adopted and approved. And resolved further that pursuant to said business plan, the sum of $7,274,363 is hereby authorized to be expended in 2022 for the purposes provided therein, of which $4,426,000 is designated for the equipment fund and $2,848,363 from the facilities fund. And resolved further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve the 2022 Capital Plan Resolution.
Thank you. Is there a second? Jim seconded it. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, are there any objections?
I oppose if we're voting.
Yes, it should vote.
Okay. So one opposed. Are there any other?
You need to vote then, Bunny.
All those who are in favor of the. All those in favor? Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Good. And we have 1 opposed. So the motion to approve the 2022 GRF Capital Plan is approved. Thank you. Okay, so the next item of business, new business, is the GRF Strategic Planning Committee report presentation. So John, do you want to present that?
Sure. Is there any way to get it up on the screen? I'll just introduce it and then turn it over to Brian or Siobhan, whoever wants to walk through it.
Yes, I can get it up on the screen.
While we're setting that up, I'll highlight it. The Strategic Planning Committee has been put together maybe, I don't know, just under 6 months and set out with a vision to bring consensus to the community on what would bring the biggest improvements over the long term. And in doing so has, I consider, the most experienced and informed board members from all 3 and the towers as well, mutuals. And the direction that everybody agreed upon was we would take one primary area and do what's called a proof of concept. Prove that we could work together, prove that we could present something concrete that was easily understood and meaningful to the community, that would do something positive, whether it be provide a cost savings, improve efficiencies, or something else that could be clearly demonstrable as a benefit, short, hopefully intermediate, and long term. That concluded with a unanimous vote that our number one area to work on was the customer experience. How should our community deal with its residents over the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years? What should it look like 20 years from now when someone has a problem? Should they be calling, waiting on hold for 20 minutes, or is there a better answer that we may want to get to that would let people operate more efficiently and ideally with the parameter set of keeping our costs under control, or hopefully, as has happened in many cases, saving money? So that was determined as our number one priority was customer experience. And we went about in a couple of meetings with a separate subcommittee, as well as with the entire committee, determining what we could do that would show the first step in that process to improve customer experience. At the same time, it was also voted unanimously by the same committee that we should have a secondary objective working in parallel, which is facilities planning. Because after all this budget discussion, you've just heard about what's going to happen to our facilities. We've been operating one facility at a time. What do we do at Clubhouse 3? Okay, let's design and vote on that. What do we do at Clubhouse 1? Let's design and vote on that. When there might be integration of some of these clubhouses in terms of their functionality, in terms of efficiencies of construction, in terms of even location, that might make a huge difference. So it was agreed upon by the committee that we would have a facilities committee to start discussing what the long-range vision for our facilities in the community would look like as well. That has now also added a sister committee, which is the Clubhouse Committee. And so those conversations are ongoing and being discussed. But to go back and be crystal clear, the primary objective, as agreed upon by this entire committee, was to do something we could show our community would matter in the area of customer satisfaction, resident, service appreciation, if you will, that we were operating in a way that was better by, a consensus. You're never going to please everybody, but that most agreed was an improvement. And we didn't want to talk about radical changes because that's not helpful to the community. So we broke it down and said, and again, I turned it over to staff and said, what could we do that would start the ball rolling to say, hey, that is an area where customers or residents are dealing every day. They're dealing with it this way today, and 6 months from now, you can see real improvement. And the conclusion that we came up with was to take the online reservation systems that already exist, and if you're listening and if you care, make a note of that. These already exist, and simply design a way to get better usage out of those online reservation systems. So we're not trying to add anything, change anything, or alter anything. We are simply trying to get the most out of things that are already in existence, with a very common sense concept being, if we can't get good usage out of those and improve customer satisfaction, reduce cost, and get good value out of our online reservations that are already there, what hope do we have of expanding it to something much broader and bigger? So it was the perfect proof of concept to say, what would it look like if we started with this little baby step that's already in place and tried to improve it, and then said to the committee and then go to the GRF board and say, look, this really happened. It was here at point A, and in 3 to 6 months, whatever the time period I'll agree upon, it's now at point B. And here's why it's better for the community. Here's the money we're going to save. Why don't we try step 2? And so that's the background of what we came up with as a committee and what we want to present today, which is a look at what this would look like to take those online reservations and enhance them in a way that we get great value, not only in resident satisfaction, but in financial savings, which, is a topic that doesn't come up nearly often enough, in my opinion. So I'm glad to be one of the people bringing it. I'll leave my opening comments by saying that we know there's some strong concerns by a lot of activities and clubs and people about the online reservation systems. It will get pointed out in this presentation, and I'll just start off by saying that that's part of the solution, is identifying what's wrong with them today and finding ways to enhance and improve them. So when we're done with this, not only are more people using them, they're enjoying them and benefiting from them more. So that is absolutely being heard and absolutely being considered. And I know some folks are here who may want to comment on that today, and I welcome it. So with that said, I don't know if Brian's going to do the review of the slides or if it's going to be Siobhan, but that's what you're about to see. Anything regarding facilities, please skip the slide. That's not relevant for today's discussion. We are here to identify our first proof of concept test that we'd like to do for customer appreciation. Over to whoever's taking the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Pearlstone. I'll go ahead and take it over from here. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide. So the Strategic Planning Committee, we did a presentation on June 28th, and it pretty much exactly covering exactly what Mr. Pearlstone just said, with a focus on customer service experience and how we can make enhancements to that participation. And number two is looking at the facilities and clubhouses and coming up with a more comprehensive long-term plan. So essentially possibly looking at a master plan of some sort in regards to those facilities and how they can be improved and how they're being utilized currently and also for the future. And then number three, we looked at future development concepts. And again, these are just concepts that we're kind of looking at and see what other land areas that we have where we could do some type of development projects in the future. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Let's go to the next slide. So the first thing that we looked at is resident services in regards to coming up with a structured plan where we can resolve 90% of complaints and services that, within the next 5 years. So some type of online service protocol software program that would basically utilize a one login process for all the residents. They would log in once and they would have access to the resident portal for different services, whether that's a plumbing issue, whether that's a painting issue, man alterations. So something more comprehensive that residents can log on online and have access to all those different types of services. And I think that will tremendously improve the service levels over what we currently have. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So the other programs that we're looking at, and these are primarily already in place. Ticket Pro would be the Performing Arts Center online ticket reservation system. 4UP is the golf tee time reservation system that we currently have in place. In addition to that, we have the point of sale for the Pro Shop that's part of the 4UP program. And the courts, which is currently utilized over at pickleball and the tennis courts and also for Pool 2 to make swim lane reservations in the morning. And the idea between actually all of these programs, including the resident services one, is really to incentivize and encourage our residents to start utilizing these services. Simply, they're more efficient, they improve customer service, it's more customer friendly where they don't have to, for example, come down to our facility and wait on the line to buy let's say a Performing Arts Center ticket for a performance, or they don't have to come down at 6 a.m. and wait at the restaurant 19 in order to make a tea time, for the following week. So these are all things that people can do in the comfort of their own home. And obviously that would certainly improve our service levels. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So again, the primary function of this is obviously we are going to have some residents who are maybe not as tech savvy as some other residents. So the goal really is to provide a lot of support, provide a lot of education, working with the PC club upstairs and the Mac club to offer those services directly to our residents, where they can bring in their iPad, they can come in with their phone, and they can start learning it right then and there through educational programs and classes that we would be coordinating. The other element to this is obviously monitoring not only customer satisfaction, but also participation. At what level are our residents utilizing these services and how many are not? In addition to that, we also want to survey residents, make sure that we are following the desires of the community and ensuring that their customer service experience expectations are being met. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. And we are anticipating some cost savings operationally in regards to Ticket Pro and 4UP, for example. Those are the ones we can monitor. Actually, 4UP we're monitoring right now, and there is a cost savings associated with that. Ticket Pro is not implemented yet. We're hopeful it's going to be implemented when the PAC opens up, which is hopefully going to be here in the next few weeks. And at that time, we will certainly monitor and assess the cost savings level that is associated with these programs. We are estimating roughly about a $50,000 savings. And of course, some of the staff responsibilities that they're currently doing would kind of free them up and allow them to do other type of responsibilities within the operation of those facilities.
Hey, Brian, can you clarify that savings of 50,000 is per year? If this was all we did and just left it alone, you'd anticipate that annual 50,000.
Correct. Yeah, this is per year. Yes.
With an astronomical increase in savings if we can expand it to other areas, ultimately resident services.
Correct.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So here's just a quick summary of the programs that we currently have are in orange. So we have Courts, 4UP, and Ticket Pro. The green bars are essentially future programs. Although we do have Dwelling Live now, we also have ActiveNet, of course, and the resident portal for the maintenance calls. But ActiveNet, for example, is the reservation system that we utilize here in the Recreation Department for either rooms or classes and different programs that we offer. So all of our programs are actually already online. We are requiring residents to go online to sign up for a yoga class, for example, or if there's a dinner party. The Village Bazaar, for example, that was primarily all done online. And then, so the other component to ActiveNet is the room reservations, which is going to take a little bit longer to implement, and we're looking at sometime in 2022. I'm sorry, 2022, and hopefully we can have the online reservations for all the rooms available as well. And then Dwelling Live, again, working with the IT department and resident services and getting that implemented further, in addition to the resident portal. And I mean, quite honestly, the whole resident services portal software program is going to be obviously more of a long term. That's something that has to be developed and probably be customized to our needs here within the community. So that will take probably the longest out of all of these. Nevertheless, it is something that we're looking to do, at least proposing to do, and moving forward with that. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide.
I would shut it down there. Or do you have any summary? We're not going to talk about facilities today.
Okay, we can go ahead and conclude the presentation then at this time and address any questions that people may have.
Grant, can you go back to the slide that shows the timeline? I think that'll be really helpful for people to have that in front of them as we're talking about this moving forward. And before I know there's at least one question, I'll turn it back to Grant to ask them, but I would just add the comment that was kind of made, but let's stress it, that these things already exist and may or may not be the right answers long term. Is Courts or 4UP going to be our software of choice 5 or 10 years from now? We don't know, but they're in place. Let's maximize them. Let's learn what works. Let's learn what doesn't. Let's get the community educated. There were some great recommendations from our own board members on how to educate a concierge service where there would be, once things open up, again, we have to be clear about this, but there would be a staff member available in the community center on designated hours every week that someone could walk in and they'd walk them through how to do it. There would be somebody online waiting to answer, chat. I don't remember, Jeff, you might want to chime in with a quick comment here. You had a lot of this on your plate. But I think they were going to come in and they were going to come into a chat room once every couple hours and see what questions have been asked to be answered. Just anything we could to be more interactive so people felt like they could try online services and see if we get anywhere with it. But Jeff, let me get you to share a little bit of your feedback on this, because you were way bigger in designing it than me. And we were it might benefit us to take this step.
Thank you, John. I think
So,
if I may.
go ahead.
Madam Chair, just to add to what John was talking about, clearly what we know, and I know there's a couple people that want to speak, is that we need to enhance these service levels with regards to anything that we have online system. As an example that we've talked about a lot, Dwelling Live does a lot of things for us and a lot of tracking for us, but one of the things that it doesn't do a good job right now relative to phone calls to resident services is people are still calling resident services, which just translates calling the security at the gates, and that is to get their family members in or somebody into their units to get that pass, where if they just went on Dwelling Live and used that system, it would save all of the phone calls coming in, which would save the man hours to address phone calls. So that's where we would potentially anticipate seeing some savings down the road in not having to answer as many phone calls. Same thing with all of these electronic systems. If we have less man hours associated with the activities, that ends up being a savings, or if not a direct savings to the operation, it allows those same hours to be used on other activities that may make us more efficient there as well. So it's an important thing for us to keep looking at how we can enhance those activities, as long as there is support for moving forward with those activities. That's being the crucial part coming from the boards. That's it.
Over to you.
Okay, I want to make a comment. Okay, so we're open for questions. You know,
Yes.
The question has never been that these activities are not important. They're all important. My issue with this is we have problems right now, especially with courts. You know, the many emails going forward saying we've got to eliminate, courts. Okay, that is an issue for recreation. So just on that chart alone, okay, there was mixing recreation, broadband, and Dwelling Live, which we already know that Chuck is already working on. Okay, Chuck is already working on it. He's working on the education part, all of this part. And we know that Eileen is going to be working on the website and the portal and all of those things. So my issue is, why does strategic planning going to monitor over these other departments, which we have committees for, that will be working actually directly with those people? So I'm all for what you're talking about. We need it, but I would like to see it in the proper committee that's going to be doing the work that will help enhance those programs, instead of trying to give a strategic planning committee something that they really don't have all the expertise that the specific committees have. So is there any other comments? Egon?
Yeah, the comment or the question I had was, it was mentioned early on, so we're going to be saving $50,000 per year. Brian, $50,000 per year, how specifically are we going to save that? Is there going to be less people working to do the same things? Or what's the plan?
Yes, I mean, yes, but by being more efficient with the online services, there could be a reduction in staffing levels, or as Jeff has mentioned, we can utilize those staff to do other operating procedures, and obviously reallocate those resources to a different part of the operation to help offset and make improvements and efficiencies and offset some of the costs.
Okay, who's next? Jim, Debbie, and then John.
Yeah, I've expressed this before, but I'm not sure what concept that the committee is attempting to prove. This seems to be more of an operational endeavor that should be divided, as Bunny said, among several different committees and or staff members. So I'm just, I guess my central question is what concept is being proven and how does this fit into strategic planning for GRF? That's a question, I guess.
Okay, Debbie?
My concern is that, you know, there's a lot of things that were just said here that are already being done by other committees, to Bunny's point. You know, there's been no communication from the strategic planning committee to reach out to the other potential committees that might already be well underway in looking at these things, such as the ITAC, which we're looking at the overall picture. The other thing with regards to education and training, you know, there's stuff happening on that front being done by media and communications. So that's my biggest thing here. It's not even about, yes, do all these things matter? They certainly do. Do we need to move forward as a community? Absolutely. But I feel like, and maybe this goes back to what Jim said, I'm not sure how strategic planning is juggling this with all of the other things that are already being done. And maybe there needs to be more communication on a regular basis rather than we keep asking for these things and then we get a presentation. This presentation isn't much different than the one I saw previously. And I don't have any more answers than I did a few months ago about what is strategic planning actually, what is the point? So that's my concern, is I don't know what all this means at this moment.
So I'm going to have John speak and then Yvonne.
So the concept of strategic planning, I think a good analogy is football. You're in the huddle. Somebody's got to call the play, and then the various people each have their assignments to go run that play to the best of their ability with a lot of expertise and specialization. And while there may be great educational efforts and communication efforts and technology efforts going on, there's nobody in those areas that had any vision of where these projects need to end up. We quantified in the committee, we quantified where any individual could understand it, a numerical assessment of where we hope to be in 5 to 10 years, which is 90% of all transactions that happen with residents currently would now be online. You may like that target, you may dislike that target, but at least it's a target. And then that play got called in the huddle. Okay, so picture all the players in the huddle or each of the committees. We all know 90% want to be. Now, why do we care to have 90%? Because it would probably save us $10 to $15 million a year if we could get to that target. That is a strategy. That is strategic planning. That can then be folded into what are our facilities going to look like? What should our departments look like? What should our overall accounting system look like? It all would make sense if we had one vision of where we want to end up. And I could literally sit in committee meetings and come up with those targets for every aspect of our community, but we needed to prove we could do it once because there's so much dissension and everybody's got their opinions, whether they have the background and expertise or not. They're throwing out 2 cents worth. Justifiably, every board member gets a vote. That's fair. But I'm simply saying to have one vision we all work towards together is the role of a strategic plan, is the role of strategic planning. And I would turn it back to my fellow board members and say, if we produce 90% of all resident transactions online, how do you not see how that affects everything that goes on in our community in a hugely positive way? Whether you think we can get there or not, that's a different discussion that the committees have to then come back and tell us. We've studied it, we can't. So let's revisit the goal. But that's what the people with the coaching headsets have to do is say, what's the play we're trying to run here? One other comment for President Carpenter that I think could solve our problem. Again, strategic planning just wants to have those voices with all the key players in the room to call the play. We don't need subcommittees to go do the work. You're right about that. And so if we can somehow create a terminology or a structure you're comfortable with, where it's literally just to present a vision of where do we want resident services to be, for example, We don't need a subcommittee. It then could then go to CAC or wherever you want it to go. And they can do the work to meet their component of getting in the end zone of which we all want, of 90% of our resident transactions being handled online and millions and millions and millions of savings being achieved and a happier customer base all accomplished at the same time. So I hope that at least gives you the ammunition you need to restructure it. I've never been against, about abolishing subcommittees. We probably just should have named them differently. They're not designed to do the work. They're designed to give a vision that's a consensus from all our boards of what is the target we're aiming for in a particular area. And I could see doing the same thing in facilities. We want X, Y, and Z facilities plan executed, and we hand you an outline. And then every committee can go and do their work, M&C and anybody else in finance, and say that that's a great vision, but it ain't going to happen, or that you could do even better in this area. That is a top-down structure. It leads to outcomes that we all benefit from if we start with one unified goal that we can all agree upon. The committee said 90%. It was a unanimous vote. Wasn't my, guidance. It wasn't me just saying, what do I think sounds good? We talked it out. We know it's ambitious, but it was a starting point that could then go to the various experts and they could tell us what they think. And it could come back to the strategic planning committee to then say, great, here's what we can do, here's what we can't do. What's the next play call? Go to your work committees, let us know. We'll get to the outcomes we're after if we work together like that.
Okay, John, there are some other questions, but I'm still asking why strategic planning when all of these things are actually going on? We want to do those things. We are doing them. We do have a goal. Already we have a goal.
What was the goal?
Okay, so let me tell you what's going to be happening in Eileen's area. She's already budgeted this year. We've budgeted for next year to do a website. So that's the goal there. We have the ITAC committee. Everything that you're talking about, for ERP and getting online and everything is all going to be worked on in the ITAC committee, but the ITAC committee does not report to strategic planning. So we have to have a general plan with a vision and a goal, and we also have to have cost estimates for us to get there, and then strategic planning helps us to get there. So we have to figure out what that general plan is, and we have to know what the overall goals are, and we also have to get the buy-in of GRF and the corporate members in order to go forward. It's not just the committee that can decide how we're going to go forward. So
it was always clear, to answer your question, it was always clear that anything we proposed had to be approved by the GRF board, which is why we're here today. Further adding, there are multiple officers from the mutuals, the corporate members, as you said, that are in strong support of this, and presumably they're going back and talking to their membership. But again, it was going in front of the board from beginning day one. Nobody said, let's just jump on this and go ahead. This presentation had to happen. To answer Debbie's comment, I just didn't feel like presenting it until we had our consensus in our committee, which we did not have. Now we do. Now we're presenting it. We'll see where it goes. But I'll leave it to the committee. I've said my piece. I'll leave it to the board. If a website is a goal or 90% use of technology for customer service, generating tens of millions of savings is a goal, that can be a decision each member can make about which will take our outcomes further. And depending on how it goes, we'll see where strategic planning goes. Thanks.
Okay, Debbie and then Jim.
What I want to say is that
what happened to me?
This...
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. Are you next?
Give on next.
You said that before.
Okay. Yvonne.
I've listened to everybody, their comments about, and I have one question. Where is the social effect of all of this? We're all going to sit at home, pound on our computers, make an appointment, go out, play our game, and come home? I don't think that that's what this particular community is all about. And that is my comment.
Okay, thank you. Debbie?
I think that all the committees and ITAC and media and communications, we're already working towards technology-based solutions. That has never not been part of our vision in those other areas. So just to go to the 90%, I don't think anybody here is opposed to that. We need to, in order to save money, that we have to use more technology, okay? But John, maybe you fumbled the ball with this. You want to use football analogies? I mean, I don't feel that I got what I thought I would get out of what's coming. And I've talked to other members of the Strategic Planning Committee from other mutuals. I've heard, I'm not opposed to what some of the ideas are. I just think that we're already working towards these same goals in a vacuum. Each silo is already working towards these same goals. So I don't know what value strategic planning has in relationship to what's already being done as visions of these other committees.
Okay, Jim?
Yeah, let me pick up on what Debbie said. And I think for me, the whole problem is how we define or how strategic planning should be defined. And I think the football analogy that John brought up is actually perfect, because he took the football and condensed into one play. When strategically, I think the management in a football team will be looking at the season and maybe the next 5 years, as opposed to the one play. And so what I see here is an example of one play as opposed to a strategic plan. Now, this one play may be a part of a strategy, but it doesn't seem to be the plan in and of itself, or even come close to being a significant part of the plan.
President Carpenter, we do also have resident questions.
All right.
All right. The first person to speak is Joseph Italiano.
Okay. And he's still on mute. Did he go away?
I see his video, however, his audio is still muted.
Okay. While we're waiting for him, should we go ahead with Joan Milliman next?
Yes, I just want to say, it seems like maybe the committee should be broader, bigger. Since corporate members are going to have to decide eventually what the general plan is, why not include a larger group at first and make some broader plans, still including the improvements that are suggested here. But as Jim says, it's more an operational thing that goes along with our needs. So we need to identify our needs and wants and capabilities and the threats and promises that confront the community for the future. I'm just saying, I think it might be needed to have something a little broader. I think John's idea of proving that this can work is good, because we can get right down to the nitty gritty. But as far as making a strategic plan, I just would like to see it in a broader concept.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like that Joseph is ready to speak. I see him on our screen. Can we unmute him? Grant? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Great. What I want to speak about is the courts app at the tennis court. Tennis in Laguna Woods does not lend itself to the kind of structure that fits nicely into an app. At the tennis courts, players come and go during the busy hours and slow hours. They pick up games with other players, play for a short time or a long time, practice by themselves on an open court, arrange with others to play both individually and in groups. This can only be done in real time when players can see which courts are open, which are occupied, and when a court will free up. For some historical perspective, club membership has hovered around 300 players for over 20 years. When I came here, all a resident needed to play was a racket and a can of balls. Today, we not only need a racket and a can of balls, but an access card, a cell phone, an app, a court reservation, and a court monitor, all costing thousands of dollars to manage what we did for 20 years with the magic marker. Today, as in a post-COVID restriction environment, we still have 300 members, we still have courts, but that open and free equal access has been substantially diminished by the courts app. Last time I spoke before the board, I mentioned I spoke to 105 players, 92 of which think the courts app is a bad idea at the tennis courts. One thing I was very disappointed about, VMS responded by ignoring the petition's 92 signatories, by increasing the number of courts controlled by the app, eliminating our challenge court, requiring reservations for all courts after 12 p.m. All these actions take us further from the concept of equal access and detracts what is special and unique about tennis in Laguna Woods. I'm here today to see that the voice of these 92 players is heard. Since its institution, the app, both during and post-COVID, resulted in less available court time, more restricted court access, less flexible start times, and unneeded expenses. So today, whether an open or closed session, we ask the board to remove the courts app from use at the tennis courts and return to the free, open, and equal access we've had for 20 years. Thank you very much. Thank you for your service. And I'm happy to speak with you. Just to let you know, I played this sport for 40 years. I've been a member of 10 different clubs in 6 different countries.
Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, John.
We do
So
have.
I think what, should I go, Grant, or you want to put somebody else in there first?
President Carpenter, we do have some other resident comments. Would you rather Director Pearlstone speak first?
Yes.
So to give a little response to Mr. Italiano, I've been in communication with him, and I think his points are all valid. If this idea moved forward, we would take a very close, CAC would take a very close look, and can still do so, but with more of an intent in mind. Because if every person who was using an app justified that the old way was better, we're talking about a gigantic expense over time that we're incurring. So there has to be a balance, and that's what strategic planning would be sending the message, not doing the work, and not even the ones they have to report to, but it just needs to find the best opportunities to use online services, and perhaps courts is not it for tennis. Maybe there's things within courts that we don't know, or maybe they should just have manual operations in tennis. Those can be converted to financial analysis that board members could then make a decision instead of what somebody likes or doesn't like. So that's where I would hope to see that go. And again, CAC can do that work, but in the context of achieving a measurable objective for resident services, I think you get a lot more value for the time spent. You know, a couple other wrap-up comments. Director Dodson made her comment about we're already working on this in vacuums. That's what happened with Clubhouse 3. That's what happened with Clubhouse 1, and going back a ways in Clubhouse 2. When you look at things in isolation, you don't see the big picture. You don't realize how other things might integrate. That is the exact purpose of strategic planning, is to have that global look and say, wait, before you move ahead on this, think about that. You know, because one department won't always see what another's doing, but a CEO does see it, and he's part of strategic planning and might be able to give those visions, plus all the, you know, important board members that are part of the input committee as well. In terms of strategic planning, this was already discussed at length that we did strategic planning as a community in 2018. Many of you were there. I recognize your faces. Nothing came of it. Nothing. There were some efforts to chart and to progress and nothing meaningful that we could point to today really came from it. There might be some response by staff that would prove me wrong, but nothing measurable and quantitative and that really has provided savings to the community, as our assessments would clearly prove. So the point being that I don't want, as the head of strategic planning, I said this the day the committee started, I am not going to go conventional strategic planning day one when we've proven with prior efforts that will not be effective due to our massive conglomeration of boards and input and opinions. We need to prove that there can be consensus on a smaller scale and then expand that into a comprehensive strategic planning program once we know how to get that consensus on things we've proven. So the continual concepts that we haven't talked about strategic planning on a global basis, that is the purpose of the committee. The meetings have been public, and it's just wrong to bring it up here and say that we're not doing strategic planning. This was always the intent. It was voted on unanimously to take this approach so we could bring the community something measurable and then see if strategic planning made sense. And I've said since day one, and I'll end with this, I'm happy to step down as that committee chair if that doesn't make sense to others who think they can do better. But we do have a history of not seeing strategic planning on a global basis get anywhere. I was trying to bring something measurable and productive and move it forward over time.
Are there any other comments?
Yes, there is Richard Rader, which is to speak.
Okay.
Thank you. I've heard some great ideas, but I do have some comments. It was mentioned possibly that we would offer a discount as an incentive to purchase Clubhouse 3 tickets. I might suggest that you get some input from those clubs that sponsor Clubhouse 3 events. What if they do not agree with this proposal? I can imagine they may raise prices to cover the loss of revenue due to any discounts. Another thought is reserving rooms online. I think that's very interesting. However, many residents have lots of questions when they're reserving a room in person. And also, very important things are pointed out during in-person reservations that otherwise the resident may overlook and could lead to future misunderstandings. I wonder how online reservations will be able to handle this.
Thank you.
We do have some written comments from Teresa Frost. The comments are, I have never waited more than 2 minutes when I call, just lucky. And also, what are the goals that the strategy is aligning to? Does everyone agree with a set of goals?
Okay. Thank you, and I agree with her comments. That's what we're looking for today. Egon.
I have a couple of questions. One, do these programs that we're using have an annual maintenance fee that we have to pay to use the program? And I have an interesting comment. Mr. Taliano makes a very, very cogent argument. And so I have a question of this. Suppose the tennis people all got together and said, we're not going to use courts. Does that mean that all the courts, the tennis courts, will then be out of commission? In other words, will they not be able to play tennis if they don't go through courts? Those are two questions. One, is there a maintenance fee on each of these programs? And two, if something is not reserved, is it then off limits? Thank you.
Okay, Jim, are you going to answer and then Brian, or okay?
I just have a comment. I think the comments from the members have been fantastic, Mr. Italiano, Mr. Rader, but I think they also indicate why this is not strategic planning. because the detailed questions on a specific application cannot it cannot be considered strategic in nature. These things have to be ironed out. And so I don't understand the strategic nature of these very detailed, here's what we're going to do operationally. And that's and I won't say another word, but this is not strategic planning. And I don't know how it can be defined as strategic planning.
Okay, who is next? I'm sorry. Oh, Brian? Okay.
Yeah, I can just answer those two questions that Mr. Gardhofer has. So there is a monthly fee in regards to the court's reservation system, as well as for the pickleball and for the swimming. So we do pay a monthly charge on that. In regards to the Ticket Pro, there's not, it's basically you just purchase the software program outright. So there's really no additional, charges that are associated with it. There is an annual charge for the 4-Up program. So it just depends on the service provider. ActiveNet, for example, does have an annual charge that we do pay. And then, it just really depends on the company in general. If you purchase a software program outright, then there's not a charge. And then unless there would be some type of upgrades and there may be a charge for that, sometime down in the future. In regards to the tennis courts, if nobody reserves them, so currently we only have 5 of the courts reservable in the mornings. It's still drop-in based. People can still come down. They can still sign up on the board like they did in the past. And again, that decision was, made by meeting with the tennis club directly and with their board of directors and the president and so forth. And that was their recommendation, was to move to having 5 courts reservable and 5 courts not reservable. And those who are not reservable, obviously, they would fall in line with how they played in the past. I also want to point out that we do have a lot of residents who are not part of the tennis club, that they do like to come down and have that ability to reserve a court for if they have a friend over or family member over. So we do have, a lot of residents who are not part of the tennis club that wouldn't necessarily fall in that criteria.
Okay. The thought going, yes, who talks? Okay, Yvonne.
It's me. My question is, if we're using courts over at the tennis pavilion, how come we've got a person over there all day? We're spending twice as much money? I don't get it. So maybe Brian will explain that to us and the audience.
Yeah, in regards to the staff member down there, that person is there to facilitate any type of maintenance that needs to be done within that facility. For example, if the courts are dirty and in unplayable conditions, she would either go out there with a blower and blow off the courts, or she would reach out to somebody who has that capability if it's a little bit more than what we can handle in-house or within her. In addition to that, she does coordinate programs and leagues for any new potential residents coming in, and that has been very well received. And of course, the customer service, answering the phone, responding to emails, assisting the tennis club with their compass tournaments on a monthly basis. So there's some things that certainly have improved, I think, over the last 5 years since we've had a staff person down there.
Okay, thank you. So
I'm not disagreeing that they should have it. I'm not disagreeing that they should have a staff person, but that staff person can go part of what courts is doing too. That's all I'm saying. We're paying double. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Sorry, you were kind of breaking in and out, at least on my end. But yeah, we can certainly look into that.
Okay, thank you. All right. So what I'm hearing, it is, and I need to hear from the board, is basically the customer experience, is the consensus of the board that actually, that it would be best to have each committee that is responsible for that particular area to handle the vision, basically, say like for the website or whatever recreation, but it basically should be back into the hands of that particular committee and that particular department to be worked on. These are current activities that are going on, and if we basically set goals, then it would be up to that committee chair basically to be able to monitor what that goal is for that particular year. So I need to hear from everybody. Is that the consensus of how we want to handle customer experience? Okay. Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Bunny. To me, the objective would be to perhaps charge each committee that's involved with any level of customer experience to come back and come with a plan that is commensurate with having the customer gravitate towards an ERP, or not ERP, but software, if that works for that particular area. That's what I would think. So I agree with you. I think we need to send it back to the responsible committee.
Okay, Dan, he has his hands up.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I agree with that the specific committee should look into this and come up with the best available information satisfying the customer base, and then they present it to the board, and we agree with that. I think we should give the responsibility to the committee that we have selected to deal with this issue. Thank you. That is my comment.
Thank you. And Debbie?
Yeah, I just want to say that, I mean, I think that ITech's working on some of this already. I know that Media and Communications is working on some of this already. So I feel like if they're tasked with coming up with these solutions, and I think I brought this up once before, but I didn't really push it. I'm not a big fan of making more committees, but I really think we need an education subcommittee of just a small number of people who work on the education for all of these goals and all of these outcomes, so that there's one centralized location, so that I'm not working on education for one part, somebody else isn't working on education for another part, because that's what's happened so far. And I think that tying it all together, because a lot of what's going to happen with these initiatives is resident education. So I think we should consider that for a future thing, that we have some type of education subcommittee that takes from all of these other committees and works on how to put this out to our residents.
And I do know that a lot of that's considered based upon the product that we're promoting, especially like what Chuck is doing right now with the Dwelling Life.
Well,
and he, wants to contact the PC Club and how they're helping with introducing that. And my experience on the board has been that anytime there's new technology introduced, there has been a education part of that. And so it's never been excluded. It's always been determined based upon whatever project or, is necessary for the education. And I have to tell you that in the last 2 or 3 years, the education has improved 300%. I mean, the training for the directors, the training, video, and then here Debbie's helping out with software training on TV6. So we are going that direction, Debbie. I just wanted you to know that we're very conscious of it and we're going in that direction.
I'm just more funny, was more tying all those initiatives together into one, because yes, that is being done by a bunch of different things, but just kind of a tie maybe even if it's somebody comes and reports to media and communications during our meeting of what education pieces are being done, so that we're all knowledgeable of it.
And that's a great idea.
I think that's
Okay.
the purpose of,
Joan?
I think that is the purpose of communications. And most everything that needs training or backup of any kind comes through communications and through our committee, but it's also through the Department of Communications. That's been the purpose of centralizing communications, so that education and advertising and spreading the word comes through a central port, and it happens to be communications.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other comments? So we basically need to go forward, and I think what John is talking about, everything that he's talking about, we have to have a plan, we have to have a vision, and I totally agree with that. And the fact that we're not working with the general fund, I find that that's missing. And we have not had a consensus with including the corporate members. Now, in 2015, we had the Future Sense that came in, and we developed a plan at that point in time, which was a different vision that what was brought in when Jeff came on. And as Jim pointed out, that with the strategic planning, we need to review it every year. We need to review where we're at and where we want to go. And so I am suggesting, with John's help, and if he would be happy to help us with this, that maybe we engage with Future Sense again and be able to put our group together and come up with the general plan, the vision, and the goal, so that the strategic planning can work on how we're going to get to that goal. So do I have any comments on that? Jim?
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I mean, we have to know where we are before we determine, where we're going. So there has to be a start point. And then a vision, a clear vision, and strategy. And that strategy gets updated based on changing conditions. And
right.
That's where we are, and that's where we need to start to go.
And I really, I just want John to appreciate that I appreciate every effort and every work that he's putting into this. One of my biggest concerns about all of this and bringing it before the board was because, our residents scare a lot, and if you start talking about repurposing land and taking away this and building that and all that kind of thing, this scares them. And so if we come together and we develop what that general plan is, and I looked at Walnut Creek, they have published on their website what their general plan and vision is. I'd sort of like to do something like that. So, Jeff?
Thank you, Bunny. To your point that you were making right there, I just wanted to mention that, and really just because of COVID, we did the strategic plan with all of the boards. Everybody participated on the boards, the executive committees and all of the elected representatives from the key officers from the boards were in that strategic plan that we did. And then obviously with COVID, we got hit with not having meetings and stuff like that. And I think what would be really important going forward, piggyback on what you just said, is no matter who we get in to help facilitate it, we need to go back and look at what you've already approved, what you've already documented. What is you already have a vision, you already have a mission statement. Now, you guys may not all know it because you weren't, you're new to the boards, but we're just talking about 2 years ago. So we need to go back and say, is this still where we're at? Is this still where we want to be?
Right.
Look at that, revise it if necessary, and then move forward with the second part of a strategic plan is you take your vision, your mission statement, and then you set out a strategic plan for accomplishing those goals over a period of time. And we did that. We started that. We were doing 6-month reviews on strategies and stuff like that. We got caught in COVID. We need to resurrect that, given what the board's talking about today. And I'll be glad to work with anybody on the GRF board that wants to participate. That I think we also need to engage the, all of the leadership from Third United as well, because they were part of putting that strategic plan together.
And this is important, and John, because whatever the strategic committee is putting together right now can just have a kibosh, before you present it to the corporate members, if we don't have the buy-in on the entire business plan and goal. So my concern is, yes, this is a lot of work, but it also saves time on the other end, because we know that we're working for a goal based upon what the community wants. So that's my thinking. So John, would you like to be a part of that? Would you like the strategic planning committee to work with Jeff and we bring forth again the plan that was presented, and we can work on that and go from there?
That presentation was in the first presentation of the strategic planning committee and reviewed, and we broke out all the items that we felt were worth moving forward on and left the ones aside that we didn't think were priorities. So that prioritization has already occurred.
Yes, but it hasn't been approved by the board or the corporate members.
No, you're right about that. But again, the concept was there's just so much dissension, so many layers to get through. Prove we can do something before we try to do everything. And I stand behind that 1,000%.
Well, you stand beside it, and I appreciate it. I just don't think that we can go forward that way. So, Jim?
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of strategic planning is not to execute, but to plan. And to Jeff's point, the prior strategic plan or basis for the strategic plan has never really been offered to us as a board, so that we understand where we are jumping off from in order to establish where we're going. And so I think all of those things everything I've seen here may be valid in terms of an execution strategy for a particular part of a strategic direction, but it doesn't seem to be a strategic plan that I think can be presented to the board and all the boards for review and concurrence.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other comments on that?
President Carpenter, we do have a resident comment, but they would be speaking for the second time. I'm not sure if you want to recognize them.
And who's that person?
It's Joseph Italiano.
Okay.
Okay, I will bring him in.
He needs to unmute.
Right.
While he unmutes, there is a comment from Teresa Frost also that says, I really like what Bunny is saying about the vision, mission, and goals, socialized, then put into action strategically. Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Two things. One of them is Brian's comments regarding the Laguna Woods Tennis Club Board of Directors, as he is trying to follow what they say. 9 of the signatories to the petition are either current or former board members. There's hardly a consensus in that group to move forward with the court's app. It bothered me to no end because I attended their last meeting. And I spoke, much as I have spoken to you today, about the tradition of the tennis club, about the open and free access, and also about the petition. Those comments were not put in the minutes. Not only were they not put in the minutes, they tried to keep me from speaking, which bothered me to no end. The second issue, and this was a gentleman who spoke about golf, and he was a single golfer, and he was now unable to play because of the golf reservation system. Tennis is very much like that. People come down to the courts, they find players, they find an open court, and they play. People come down in groups too. People arrange to play before, and then they go down there, and typically there's an open court. So in the end, courts is a bad idea for the tennis courts. We'd have to get up to well over 450 members where that would become an issue, where it would be difficult to find a court and they would have to be reserved. Right now, what happens if there's a reservation court, for example, in court 7, and that court is reserved at 10:30, and it's 9 o'clock and nobody's there, nobody will go on that court. It just sits vacant. Where before, under our old system, the courts turned over. Courts turned over regularly and efficiently. Played there for 7 years, rarely waited for a court. If I did have to wait 5-10 minutes, got the court and went on. So I really do hope that you remove this from use. The courts app, remove the courts app from use at the tennis courts.
Thank you, Joseph. You realize we wouldn't be voting on it today, and basically it would go to CAC, and we can ask Brian and John if we could put it on the agenda for Thursday to discuss this issue. Yes, and I think there is some part of it already on the agenda. Is that correct, Brian?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
The answer would be, yeah, we've got this topic on the agenda, so we could just cover it then.
Yeah, we can do that then. I mean, that will be the most appropriate, yes.
Right. A lot of the recreation items, I mean, the issues can be, brought to the board, but most of them are handled actually in CAC. And they don't, this type of thing, it doesn't always come to the board for approval. So that's why we're sending it back to recreation, and then CAC can discuss it and approve it. Thank you. Okay. Are there any other comments?
Excuse me.
Okay, Yvonne, I can't see you. I can't see you.
I'm sorry.
But speak.
I'm going to, and now you can see me.
Okay.
Brian just said that courts is going to be, or the tennis is going to be on the CAC meeting that's going to be held on Thursday, and I don't see it anywhere on the agenda. Is it they're going to add?
Yeah, it is something that we would add.
I don't know that we have to, though. We have a topic that's talking about the findings of the board regarding the strategic planning discussion, so I see no reason not to just include it in that.
I mean, we can tie it into that as well, or we can include it as a standalone item.
You can put it as A or something underneath it. It's fine. It definitely will be addressed.
Right.
Okay, I'm asking the same question I asked before. If it's not on the agenda, if it's on the agenda, you're gonna just add it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to go forward. Is it the consensus, and I may be repeating what we had already gone through, but is it the consensus of the GRF board that they would like to go forward with what Jeff has suggested in order to review the strategic plan before the GRF board, and we can review it and tweak it, and also we would also involve, I think you said, the corporate members in that also, Jeff?
Yes, yes, that would be my suggestion at some point in time, whether you want to review first.
My thinking is, why not do it in one meeting
We could.
rather than going through two different meetings? Yeah. What is your opinion?
We can do it either way. I didn't know if this board wanted to review it first, just to have an overview before that. But I think you would want to engage again the officers from the mutuals in a meeting to review. Yeah.
Right, but I almost think that we should have all the corporate members be involved so that we can. We can get something solid that we can go on.
Okay, we'll work on it.
Okay, so with that, I think we've come to a decision, and I hope, John, that you will be a part of it. So no decisions at this point, okay? And so the next item that we have is to entertain a motion to approve Restaurant 19 MBT Restaurant Ventures Bar Furniture donation of 33 bar stools and 6 tables. And this is to replace the furniture that is deteriorating. So just to make a comment, and Brian can chime in here, but I just want you to know that Brian has done all the due diligence in regards to checking out this furniture. Do we need this furniture? And
President Carpenter, for
a little agreement. Yes.
I just wanted to mention that item 12B is entertain a motion to introduce a resolution to update the harassment policy.
Yeah. Too much going on today. I apologize. Let's go back.
Correct.
Yes. Stand corrected here. All right. So the next item is 12B, which is to entertain a motion to introduce a resolution to update the harassment policy. And this would require a 28 days for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360. So I just want to make a note that this policy has been reviewed by the board and the attorney. So Joan, will you go forward and read that resolution?
Yes. Resolution 90-21-XX, harassment and nuisance policy. Whereas on October 7th, 2019, the board adopted the harassment and nuisance policy to set forth guidelines for harassment and nuisance complaints. And whereas the board recognizes the need to update the policy to reflect changes in state law, introduce concepts of proper decorum and harassment based on protected classes, and outline the processes for investigation of allegations and board member or committee member discipline. And now, therefore, be it resolved, October 5th, 2021, the board of directors of this corporation hereby revises the harassment and nuisance policy as attached to the official minutes of this meeting. And resolved further that Resolution 90-19-47, adopted October 1st, 2019, is hereby superseded and canceled. And resolved further that the officers and agents of the corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. I move that we approve this resolution for discussion purposes and postpone the final vote for 28 days per Civil Code 4360.
Is there a second? Debbie seconds it. Is there any discussion?
Go ahead.
Richard Rader wanted a question on the discussion. Okay.
All right, I can bring him in.
Thank you. Obviously, each board can make its own harassment policy. However, I believe VMS has its own harassment policy, which differs in some respects with the proposal that GRF has put forth. For instance, as I remember, the VMS policy makes the initial referral to the HR department. If further action is warranted, the complaint then proceeds through carefully prescribed steps. My question is, if a harassment occurs which involves a VMS employee, how will the differences between the VMS and GRF harassment policies be resolved so there will hopefully be only one unified investigation taking into account what each of their policies are?
So can I comment on that? You know, I have worked really close with VMS and with their harassment policies and with our harassment policies. And the intent is when we approve our policy that we will also review this with VMS. But I can guarantee you, no, I can't guarantee you, but the intent is basically that nothing conflicts. There's no conflicting process. If the resident is having a complaint, then he needs to go, or he or she needs to go to compliance. If an employee has a complaint, then that person needs to go to HR, because we want to make sure that there is an investigation if it's necessary, and the investigation is still it's done by staff and security, but sometimes there needs to be hired a third party to determine, you know, whether or not the value of the complaint. So I hope that in this harassment policy that it explains all of that. But again, we will review it with VMS so that we are all in sync as to what the processes are. And that was the purpose of this harassment policy, to be able to determine what the process is, because none of the policies before, in 3-4 years ago, had anything about how we were going to go forward or what the process was. Okay, Egon?
I have one question. Are the policies of harassment as seen by VMS and the policies of harassment as seen by GRF pretty much in sync with respect to, you know, the things that are considered to be harassment?
I think Siobhan can answer that.
Yes, Director Hoffner. I'm sorry, I used the wrong microphone. Yes, they are consistent. They're not exactly the same, but they're very consistent.
Are there any other questions? Are there any objections? So if there are no objections with the harassment policy is approved, but it will be postponed for 28 days for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360. So thank you. So the next item, and this is the third time I mentioned it, because I just wanted to see this get approved, is the donation made by 19 Restaurant for bar stools and for tables to replace the furniture that is there now that is showing to be a little dilapidation and wear and tear. I should say wear and tear. So I'm going to let Brian speak so that he can let everyone know what he did as far as the due diligence and what he recommends at this point in time.
Thank you, Madam President. So the Village Greens Clubhouse was renovated or reconstructed, I should say, in 2011. And at that time, and I'm not sure if that included new new furniture or not, but over the last 10 years, obviously the bar and the restaurant itself does get quite a bit of heavy use from our residents and their guests who enjoy the food over there and the setting. And it was brought to our attention that the bar furniture is kind of falling apart, so to speak. It does definitely show some heavy wear and tear. We did replace the actual dining room furniture back in 2018. However, the bar furniture was not replaced, so that would include the tables and the chairs that they have down there. The current operator, MBT Restaurant Ventures, is offering to purchase and to donate new furniture that would include 33 bar stools and 6 bar tables, which is basically what is currently there. So there's no expansion of additional chairs or tables. It's just a replacement of what is currently there. And we do have a agreement form, a donation agreement put together by legal that would allow the board to go ahead and move forward if the board does accept the donation from the current operator there.
Are there any questions?
Madam Chair?
Yes? We need to make a motion.
Yes. I move that we approve the proposed restaurant furniture donation agreement between the Golden Rain Foundation and MBT Restaurant Ventures, Inc.
Is there a second? Are there any questions?
Did I hear a second?
Do I? It looks like Debbie's, but yeah, okay, Joan.
Thank you.
Yvonne. All right, discussion, and John has his hand up.
So, Brian, does this donation have any implications whatsoever on the lease arrangement with them, which, if I remember, it's expiring not too far off? Just curious how that all plays out.
No.
Yeah, this would have no effect on the current contract agreement between MBT Restaurant Ventures and GRF. So this will be an amendment basically to that contract, but it doesn't have any impact in regards to when that contract expires, which is, I believe, 2027.
Okay, I thought it was sooner. But we retain the furniture if that contract doesn't get renewed. Correct?
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah. Egon?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I don't understand. First of all, so this says there's no cost to GRF. Hopefully that's correct. What does it mean that this furniture is worth $30,000? If it's being donated because it's in bad shape, it's not worth $30,000. Was that the purchase price back whenever they bought it? And why is that number in there? And I was asked to pursue this by a board member from another board, are there any tax implications to this $30,000 coming our way, or the number coming our way? Secondly, I'm not quite finished yet. So, and the VMS will conduct routine maintenance and repairs. We are repairing the furniture and things like that for the clubhouse. Is that correct? that and the new stuff is going to cost $37,000, which is supposed to be paid for by the restaurant. So am I right on all of those?
Yeah, I can clarify some of that. So the old furniture is not worth $30,000. The new furniture actually costs $30,686.80. And we do maintain our equipment if it does need some type of repair. For example, at the other facilities, if there's a chair that has a tear, we would go ahead and reupholster it. So we do conduct routine maintenance on our equipment, yes.
And what was the other question, Egon? I mean, the value, yeah, the value of it is $30,000 because he has not purchased this yet.
He has not purchased.
He will only purchase it, yeah, after we approve the donation.
Right.
Okay. I don't recall what the other question was. In the agreement that we had our lawyer look through, this donation agreement, it basically says that GRF is not responsible or not liable for any of the costs associated with it. So that would include taxes, shipping, anything.
Right.
Okay. Are there any other questions? If there are no further questions, are there any objections? If there are no objections, the donation by Restaurant 19 for bar stools and tables is approved. Thank you. All right, the next item for business is entertain a motion to approve broadband services increase, and this would entail a postponement of 28 days for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360. So Joan, will you read the resolution? Or do we have a resolution? We do.
We have a resolution.
Yes, please read it.
Resolution 90-21-XX, Digital Cable Services Fee Structure and Tier System. Whereas the Media and Communications Committee has recommended adjustments in the fee schedule to address higher costs for digital access and programming fees. And whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed and endorsed the adjustments in the fee schedule that are included in the staff report and have recommended that the GRF board place this item into 28-day notice for review and comments by the community at large. Now, therefore, be it resolved on, and that'll be in next month, the board of directors of this corporation hereby adopts the proposed digital pay tier system fee schedule as attached to the official minutes of this meeting, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of this corporation to carry out this resolution. I move we approve this resolution for discussion and postpone the final vote for 28 days per Civil Code 4360.
Do I have a second?
Can't see anybody.
Debbie, send it? Are there any?
Debbie.
Okay, Debbie. Are there any is there any discussion? Egon.
And Grant, show us a copy of that fee schedule.
I don't know, Grant, can you?
He's looking for the fee schedule, like on the agenda.
Page 2 of 7.
Okay.
It's under 12D.
One moment.
Should have looked at this ahead of time, folks. Okay, here it is. Everything is up 5% except for the cable card, which is down 45%. Just notice that. And Showtime package was raised 10% instead of the 5% due to costs.
And also keep in mind that these fees are basically because of the costs for broadband. But a person can go to Showtime and stream it and pay less money. They have that option.
Hear anybody?
Pardon? Are there any questions in regards to the fees?
Yes.
Are there any objections?
What is a cable card?
Oh, for God's
I have that question too. I don't know what a cable card is.
Eileen, are you here? It used to
I
cost.
am.
Okay,
Yes.
Can you answer that?
Yes, I can. To be honest, it's a bit of an outdated technology, which is why we have quite a few of them in our inventory. But depending on the type of set-top box that a person had and television, it's a basically it's called a card because it's about that size. It's a piece of technology that you can use to receive better access to the network and be able to see more channels. It's something that's really, as smart TVs and things are advancing, they're falling more and more out of favor. And since we have quite a few of them in inventory, it just made sense that we just reduce the cost and try to liquidate what we have left of them.
Any further questions? Are there any objections? So if there are no objections, then the broadband service fees increase is approved by unanimous consent. Thank you.
And postpone to next time.
Yeah. Okay, so the next item would be entertain a motion to approve the transfer fee resolution. And this also would be postponed for 28 days. Would you like to read the resolution, Joan?
Yes. Resolution 90-21-XX, trust facilities fee from $5,000 to $7,500. Whereas, as trustee of the Golden Rain Foundation, the board of directors of the Golden Rain Foundation is required to maintain and improve the recreational and other amenities available to all residents of Laguna Woods Village. And whereas the board of directors finds that reinstatement of the capital contribution to the trust originally required to be made for each manor sold will ensure the continuation of the amenities that make Laguna Woods Village unique. And now, therefore, be it resolved September 7th, 2021, that as trustee of the Golden Rain Foundation Trust, a declaration of trust recorded March 6, 1964, the board will impose a fee to be known as the trust facilities fee in accordance with all terms and conditions contained in this policy statement and in California Civil Code 4580, as amended by Senate Bill 1128, Stats 2010, Chapter 322, Paragraph 2, effective January 1st, 2011. On all transactions involving the purchases of a separate interest in any of the trust or its common interest developments. United Laguna Woods Mutual, Third Laguna Hills Mutual, and Mutual 50, each of which is hereinafter known, referred to as a trustor within the city of Laguna Woods as an obligation of the purchaser or purchasers. Effective January 1st, 2022. For purposes of determining effective date, purchase contracts entered prior to January 1st, 2022, in which escrow opens before January 1st, 2022, and closes on or before March 31st, 2022, are determined transactions occurring prior to the effective date. And resolved further, the trust facilities fee will be a fixed amount as provided herein and as determined from time to time by the trustee of the Golden Rain Foundation Trust. The entirety of each such fee, when and as paid by the purchaser or purchasers, shall be deposited into the trust facilities fee fund and shall be applicable to all such transactions, excluding the following transfers of a separate interest. 1. Where ownership of a separate interest is joined between a current beneficiary of a trustor and a non-beneficiary spouse, domestic partner, or other relative of such beneficiary. 2. Where ownership of a separate interest is transferred to a non-beneficiary of a trustor by gift or through inheritance from a beneficiary of a trustor. 3. Where ownership of a separate interest is transferred by a beneficiary of a trustor to a current qualifying resident as defined in the bylaws of each trustor of the separate interest, where the transferor has never been a qualifying resident and has previously paid a trust facilities fee. 4. Where ownership of a separate interest is being transferred to a trust whose settlor or principal beneficiary is the transferor, or to another trust for estate planning purposes. And 5, where ownership of a separate interest is purchased by a current owner who has held interest in their current interest for at least 1 year. Resolved further, effective with escrows opened or purchase contracts signed on or after January 1st, 2022, the trust facilities fee shall be set at $7,500 for units with a sales price of $150,000 or higher, and at $3,000 for units that sell below $150,000 until modified by the trustee. And resolved further, in accordance with California Civil Code 4580, each new purchase of a separate interest in any of the trustors' common interest developments within the city of Laguna Woods to which the trust facilities fee applies, that is, all new purchases other than a transfer qualifying for any of the exclusions set forth in subparagraphs 1 through 5 above, shall, in compliance with California Civil Code 4580, have the option to either 1, pay the fee in its entirety at the time of transfer, or 2, pay the fee amount pursuant to an installment payment plan for a period of 7 years. If the purchaser elects to pay the fee in installment payments under the second of the above statutory permitted options, then the trustee may also collect additional amounts not to exceed the actual costs for billing and financing on the amount owed, as set forth below, and in compliance with the Davis-Sterling Act, as the same may be amended from time to time. And if the purchaser sells their separate interest prior to the end of the installment payment plan period, he or she shall pay the remaining balance of the fee owed to the trustee prior to transfer. A fee of $10 will be imposed for any late payments. The Golden Rain Foundation Board shall assess a one-time fee for the preparation of the promissory note. The Golden Rain Foundation Board shall also assess a handling fee of $252 until later modified by the board, and interest, if applicable, at the minimum rate allowed by law. The monthly payment of the trust facilities fee, the handling fee, and interest, if applicable, shall be due on the first day of each month. And resolved further, Resolution 90-18-48, adopted November 6, 2018, is hereby superseded and canceled to the extent that it differs effective January 1st, 2022. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. So I move that we approve this resolution and postpone the final for 28 days per Civil Code 4360. So we have to correct the date inside.
We have a second.
Okay.
I need a second.
I'm sorry, who said
Debbie. Okay.
Okay, Debbie.
All right, discussion. And Jeff has something to say here.
Madam Chair and to the board, the only modification that after staff was working on the numbers and trying to calculate if there was an impact from people that live here selling and, you know, calculating all that, was that we did note that we do run into a scenario, and remember, this is paid by the buyer, not the seller, that we do have individuals who buy in here and then turn around and flip the buildings. But sometimes the units are held for more than a year while they're being redesigned. So that same buyer would go buy another one to flip it, and we wouldn't be collecting the fee. So one of the recommendations was on item number 5 to indicate that if they held interest in their current the current interest for at least 1 year, if we would revise that to 2 years. And I think if we revise that to 2 years, we would address all the issues with regards to potentially the individuals that are just coming in and buying and flipping, as opposed to somebody that's really here as a resident owner.
Okay, Joan?
Okay, I move that we amend number 5 to read 2 years instead of 1 year. You need a second.
You need a second? So we have 3 seconds. 3 people. Any discussion?
Jim.
Now he has, there's no discussion. And so if there's no objections, then we approve
amendment.
The corrected,
no, just the amendment.
Amendment, okay, right, the amendment by unanimous consent, and then the main motion. Is there any objections to the main motion? So if there's no objections to the main motion, then it is approved by unanimous consent. So the trust transfer fee resolution is approved with $5,200, and the exception for if someone buys under 150,000, and also where number 5, where the ownership of the separate interest is purchased by our current interest for at least 2 years. Okay. No objections. Okay, so it's approved. Thank you. We have been going on for a very long time, so I'm going to ask, does anyone need a 5-minute break before we continue, or do you just want to continue with the committee reports? I need a 5-minute break.
Okay, take a 5-minute.
Okay. All right.
President Carpenter, I need at least 10 minutes. I've got to fix some lunch for my wife, so I need at least 10.
Oh, okay.
Either that, or you can push my report back if everybody else wants to start.
10 minutes is fine.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like it's 1 o'clock, so 1:10 we come back.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
this morning,
Okay.
and she should be fine.
Okay, I need to know if everyone is here. It's 1:11, but
I'm here.
I'm not sure who's all here. You're here, Joan, Don, Debbie, Egon, Gan, Yvonne's here.
You said that twice. Well,
Oh, we have a hearing at 1:30.
well, we better hurry up then.
Closed meeting, yeah. Okay, so let's see, that means that we go into the closed meeting right afterwards.
Yeah.
And those hearings are important.
I know. Do we have any more that we have to make a deal, we have to vote on? I think so.
No, these are reports. So I'm wondering we should have
okay.
We should have Jim give his finance report, because that's very important to the community. And so I'm asking if we want to skip the rest of the reports today, because we have a hearing at 1:30 in a closed meeting, and that would give at least people 15 minutes to get some food. What do you think? How long would your report be?
That's okay for my report.
Jim.
I'm going to make my report as brief as possible. 5 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is through the reporting period of through July 31st, 2021. The total revenue for GRF is $25.6 million compared to an expense of $23.5, resulting in a net revenue of $2,105,000. Of course, we look at the operating fund a little differently. That's without depreciation, and that shows a favorable variance of 864. Bear with me, Grant. We're on the next page. Next chart. Okay. Actually, we're on the third chart. Okay. Sorry for moving so fast. I hope everybody has a copy of that. That copy is available online and on in the meetings. Next is slide 3 shows a chart, same actual with an income statement from the income statement, but it's compared to budget. Okay, and GRF ended the budget better than $1,555,000. Slide 4, please. Now, slide 4 shows the significant variances by category. The green bars represent favorable, and the orange bars represent unfavorable. And of course, employee compensation, okay, is favorable, primarily due to open positions in security and information services. And of course, recruitment is in process. There's also certain janitorial and recreational positions that remain to be filled while the clubhouses remained closed. They were unfilled while the clubhouse remained filled. We've had an increase in the trust facilities fees. We'll go through that a little bit later as we do an analysis of the units matters sold. And our community events is favorable due to the closure of facilities during the pandemic. The budget assumes they will be closed through March. They will reopen in March. Of course, they reopen slightly later than March, and thereby creating a favorable variance. Unfavorable, unrealized gain or loss on our investments. This is it's $321,000 loss for the year. Actually, that is improved over the last 4 months. Miscellaneous revenue is down by $306,000, and that's due to less fees, but as a result of facility closures. Clubhouse rental fee and events and rental fees also unfavorable. And again, the assumption was it would reopen in March, and they opened in June based on state guidelines. Slide 5, please. Of course, this slide actually shows, it's a little little misleading because I'm not seeing the trust facilities fees on here. I'm not seeing them highlighted. The yellow are the trust facility fees, and the orange is broadband services. Trust facilities fees are 36% of the non-assessment revenue, and broadband services are 40% of the non-assessment revenue. The golf revenue is 16%. This is basically the usual mix. We'll be updating this chart, I think, in the next presentations. This chart reflects trust facilities fees, which really aren't part of the operating fund. Next, Grant. Okay. Again, this chart looks a little muddled. I think they changed it from landscape to landscape, and it didn't work out quite as expected. Our total expenses were $23,468,817. Okay. Of that, 54% were employee and compensated related. Depreciation was 12%. By the way, you can see that 54% is in orange. The gold represents depreciation. And the next largest expense actually was the cable and programming franchise fees, and that is the light green, or it looks like tan, on my computer at least. And then the rest you can see are outside services and then fuel and utilities in terms of our expenses. This is a normal mix, nothing unusual about it. Next chart, please. This chart shows the manors that have been sold this year. And you will note that we're at 562 manors this year. That includes both United and Third. That is 20% higher than 2019, which was the next highest, and actually a whopping 56% higher than 2020. So our progress, or the manors, are selling at an unusually high rate, as is all real estate. It's pretty hot right now. Next chart, please. Okay. This is chart number 8. Chart 8 shows the reserve and contingency funds with adjusted balances. Starting with the first column on the left, the funds have a combined ending balance of $33.7 million. And included in this are total contributions received this year through assessments, trust facilities fees, as well as interest earnings. The second column shows the work in process of $5.5 million, and this reflects the amounts paid for projects that are not yet complete. The third column represents the resulting adjusted fund balance of $28.2 million. Next chart. Okay. So, slide 9 shows the adjusted fund balances to historical balances for the past 5 years. As you can see, in 2017, we were about $21.5 million. We now stand at roughly $28.5 million, $28.2 million. And again, this is in preparation. We're increasing that balance to some degree in anticipation of some future spending, which is in our plan, or at least our projection for the next 5 years. Slide 10, please. This listing on this slide gives you an idea of where the reserve money is actually committed. Of the $13.5 million appropriated by the board for the various projects and equipment purchases, the remaining encumbrances against our reserve and contingency funds are $7.3 million, primarily for renovation projects. And what stands out there is we still have yet to purchase some vehicles, as well as some work on the clubhouses and other GRF facilities that we have planned. And that is my report, the financial report. I hope that was not too quick for everybody, but everybody has a copy of it. And I will entertain any questions after this. You can email me directly, or we can cover them in closed session.
All right, thank you, Jim. So I'm going to ask the board if they would vote to suspend the committee reports for this particular meeting so that we can go forward to the closed meeting, take a 10-minute break, go forward to the closed meeting because we have a disciplinary hearing at 1:30. So do I have a motion to suspend the committee reports at this point in time? Debbie?
I'll motion that we suspend the committee reports at this time.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Are there any objections? So if there are no objections, let's take a 10-minute break and come back, and then we'll start the closed meetings, and then we will have to move the agenda item number 8 of the closed meeting up so that we can hear the disciplinary hearing. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Same link, Bunny? Same link or different link?
No, same link.
Okay.
Different link. There will be a different
Thank
link
you.
for closed.
Different link.
Oh, there will. Okay.
Oh, okay, so we got to leave.
Really, is that right? That means that we have to leave and
come back.
Grant, did you send that in our email to
Yes.
us, that other link?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so leave.